Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
Stockport County Live, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Dorking. It's Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio in the FA Trophy. It's the second round today. The carrot at the end of the stick, as mentioned, is a trip to Wembley, but there's a little bit of a way to go before we get there. Dorking is their 20th season. It's the first ever time they'll play Stockport County. My name's Chris Ridgway, his name's John Kieran, and he's got the team news.
County's first ever visit to this impressive Meadowbank Stadium, the home of Dorking Wanderers, for the second round of the FA Trophy, having reached the semi-finals, of course, last year. County squad has been depleted following expiry of 4 loan deals, but Ben Jackson has returned from Huddersfield to bolster the numbers, and with 17 pros available for this maiden voyage to Dorking, the Hatters do look in better shape than the previous round, when 4 academy teenagers had to be added to the bench for the win over Blythe Spartans. So Jim Gannon's made 2 changes from the side that lost to Boreham Wood last weekend. Jackson replaces Tom Walker, now departed, on the left-hand side, and Dan Cowan comes in for Tyler Garrett as County revert to a back 3. The playing budget has been boosted, as Jim revealed on the podcast this week. He's actively seeking new recruits ahead of the league clash with Sutton United next weekend. But with both these teams today looking still for their first win of 2020, here's the 11 that starts this afternoon's all-ticket clash, already dubbed the biggest game in Dorking Wanderers history. County line up with Ben Hinchliffe in goal. A back 3 today of Dan Cowan, Ash Palmer and Festus Arthur. 2 holding midfielders in Jordan Keane and Paul Turnbull. Sam Minihan wide right as a wing-back. Ben Jackson on the opposite side down the left. Elliot Osborne plays in the hole behind a front 2 of Adam Thomas and Niall Bell. Thomas has licence to roam in this afternoon's line-up. Let's give you the subs as well today. Of course, you are entitled to have 7 on the bench in this competition. So Ian Ormson, of course, is named amongst the subs. Then it's Sam Walker, Frank Mulhern, Jordan Downing, Tyler Garrett, and the youngster Jack Hopkins has been added to the bench for County this afternoon. You may remember he came on as a sub in the previous round in that victory over Blythe Spartans. Sim Tubic completes the lineup for County on the subs bench today. Dorking Wanderers, well, they come into today's all-ticket cup tie in the midst of an injury crisis. Just been speaking to their directors and really ruining the situation at the moment. Last weekend, they lost their skipper, Ed Harris, an influential centre-half, to an ankle injury. He misses out. Sami El Abd is a long-term casualty. Striker Elliot Buchanan is cup-tied, and fellow striker Jimmy Mewett has also suffered a recurrence of a groin strain, which has left the Wanderers severely depleted. And these injuries have hit at a really bad time for Dorking, who were absolutely flying at the end of 2019. 7 wins in a row saw them storm to second spot in the National South table over Christmas, but back-to-back defeats since the turn of the year have sent them back down to 5th spot. And Wanderers suffered a further blow last night on the eve of today's game. They were hoping to re-sign striker Jack Barham from Barnet. They've agreed an undisclosed fee with their North London rivals after his original 3-month loan expired, a loan which yielded 9 goals, including a hat-trick in Wanderers' FA Trophy win over Leatherhead. But owner-manager Mark White has not been able to get that deal across the line in time for today's game, so he has recalled Ben Dyatt from a loan spell at Horsham Town to try and plug the gap. Don't feel too sorry for them, though. They do have a genuine goal threat in top scorer Jason Pryor. He scored 5 in his last 6 games. We mentioned that win over Leatherhead, convincing 3-0 win. They also beat Bromley 3-0. That's how they got to this stage of the competition for the first time in the club's history. And after setting a new British record of 11 promotions in just 19 years of existence, Jim Gannon won't be taking Dorking lightly. Let's give you their starting 11. They also go with a back 3. That's one of the reasons Jim's changed his 11 for today's game as well. They've got the incredible Hook between the sticks. Slovakian goalkeeper, the giant Slav Hook, wears the number 1 shirt. Back 3 of Isaac Philpott, Dan Gallagher, normally a midfielder, looks as though he's going to play as an emergency centre-half, and Sam Beard alongside them. Luke Moore, who's an electrician, plays as the holding midfielder. Matt Briggs down the right, Tom Richards down the left. Two midfielders in Jake Gallagher and Niall McManus, and James McShane will play just off the lone striker, Jason Pryor. So a 3-1-4-1-1, if you like. Let's call it a 3-5-2. It makes life simpler. Substitutes for the home side for this afternoon's game. Their bench today consists of David Ray, who's not fit by any stretch of the imagination, a centre-half who's been drafted in to make up the numbers. Jerome Beckles, James Dixon, Giuseppe Sole, Lewis Taylor and Ben Dyatt. So they can't even complete the bench this afternoon. Full live and exclusive commentary comes from the FA Trophy here at Meadowbank. It is Dorking Wanderers against Stockport County in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. We're on the World Wide Web for subscribers to County Player. Just visit stockportcounty.com for all the details, and we're also on your official county station. This is Imagine.
John Kieran, thank you very much. Let's have a look down this Stockport County lineup. Not too many changes, in fact, just the two. Ben Jackson, of course, he's been brought in to replace Tom Walker on that left-hand side. Is it time now, Ben Jackson? I felt we were getting the best out of Ben Jackson when his last loan spell came to an end. I don't think it's unfair to say a little bit of a shaky start from him to his county career, but then it really kicked on, and by the end of his spell, it felt like a loss of a player, really. He was a good player. So now he's come back to fill Tom Walker's boots. Can we expect to see the very best of him?
I think so. The reason I say that is I think he's gone back to Huddersfield in the midst of an injury crisis. Okay, he's popped up on the bench a couple of times, but I think he knows deep down he's going back to play under-19 football. Doesn't want to do that. He'd rather be playing in front of 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. So I think it's another opportunity for him, and it's an opportunity he possibly wasn't expecting. So I think he's doubly excited, and just the fact that he came and watched last weekend. I know it's a minor thing, Chris, but you know the deal hadn't officially gone through at that point. He could have quite happily gone and watched Huddersfield wherever they were, but he came and watched the Hatters last weekend against Boreham Wood, and I think that's an indication of the excitement that he feels about returning to Edgeley Park.
I think now, we've spoken about this off air previously, and I think for him being a Stockport lad, it will mean a lot more. Now, I know that's fairly often a bit of a cliche for any club in any part of the country, but you know, it's not unreasonable to say, with all that's going on around the town in Stockport, it really is on the rise, Stockport in general, and the football team is going along with that. It's mirroring that. So if you can come in and play a part, yes, okay, fair enough. Huddersfield, much higher level of football at the moment. You can't blame him for wanting to be a part of that. But at the same time, having a season at Stockport County, within a town that is going from strength to strength, makes you really proud to walk around it. It must be fantastic for him. I can't blame him for coming watching.
Yeah, and again, I think his introduction to this level of football, or the National League, I should say, was a difficult one, and we saw him make a couple of quite costly errors in his early county career, but he certainly settled down after that. Has put in some great performances, scored a goal as well. That always helps. And again, it's a little thing, but to come back and be given the number 11 shirt this time round, I think that will give him a real shot in the arm.
Dan Cowan comes in for Tyler Garrett. I've got to be honest, a little bit of a surprise for me. Tyler Garrett just signed till the end of the season. I thought that would be his cue to make an entrance into the team. However, Dan Cowan has looked very, very good when he's played in recent weeks. Of course, the fact that he's playing in a back three probably helps his cause a little bit more, but they're both very capable, aren't they? And it's probably a difficult decision, but a nice one for the gaffer to have to make.
I think it's the only reason, Chris. I think the fact we're playing a back three is the only reason that he's not in the starting 11. Tyler Garrett has not come back here to be a bench warmer. He's come here to play, and Jim prefers, we've talked about a lot, he prefers playing with a back four, because it gives him the opportunity to play that system that he likes further ahead, with a 2-3-1 ahead of him. But today needs must, and I think you saw against Boreham Wood, starting with a back four against their well-established back three. It was wrong at both ends of the pitch. Niall Bell was getting absolutely snuffed out by three centre-halves, and at the other end we just weren't coping as a two centre-halves weren't coping with two strikers, plus runners from midfield as well. We just weren't able to get to grips with Boreham Wood. Changed it up in the second half, won the second half effectively by matching them like for like, and I think that's why you see the same system employed today. Jim's not going to make that mistake again.
Dorking Wanderers, they will look at Stockport County today and sense they can take something from County. I think we mentioned it in the build-up. County last season were in their very position, you know, coming up against teams like Yeovil, teams like Barnet, teams where you thought we can take something from these. We can do. You know, they'll be looking at County's game last week and thinking, well, they had a slip up there. Maybe the wheels are coming off a bit. They've got reason to believe, and that makes them dangerous. It does,
and I keep saying it, but you know they've dubbed this the biggest game in the club's history, and I think what that does, as well as attract people to come and watch it, I think it also gets your players fired up, and maybe they don't need that particularly. You know, to win 7 out of 7 at the end of 2019, storming up to second on New Year's Eve, just tells you, you know, this is a very, very capable outfit. It's a small squad, though. They've gone for quality over quantity. And the problem they've got is that they've now picked up some injuries. And when you get that, if you've gone for a small squad like that, you only have to lose 1 or 2, and all of a sudden you look massively depleted. And I think that's their big problem today. They've got a relatively, you know, the starting 11's okay, but it's a makeshift back 3 today for Boreham Wood.
Don't say it.
I'm sorry, I nearly called them Brackley as well. That's the other thing for Dorking today. But you've got to say, from where they've come from, it's quite remarkable. Set up in 1999 in the Crawley and District League, which is literally park football, to get 11 promotions in 19 years. I bet the owner, who's also the manager and the chairman, Mark White, sitting over there on the far side, he'll be pinching himself at times this afternoon. But you know, he only has to cast his mind back to 2019, which obviously isn't very far back, to know that he's got a good team. I can't underestimate, though, the loss of Barham. Barham going back to Barnet has been a massive blow.
I think if I was the owner, manager and chairman of a team, I'd definitely be donning that number 9 shirt as well. John, the tunnel has been pulled out. We're expecting that the players any moment now, they keep teasing us by sending out subs and coaches and physios and things, but any moment they are going to be coming out. You mentioned it's the biggest game in Dorking's history. Let's have, should we have a little, I don't want to say the word wager, should we have a little guess on, should it be the highest attendance they ever had today?
Yeah, I think it will be a record gate for them. I think we, Stockport County, have sold around 300 for this all-ticket affair. It's not quite a sellout. Their capacity is just shy of 2,000, but their record attendance is just over 1,500. I think it's going to be absolutely smashed, that record today. I think it's going to be around about the 1,800 mark. So, I think we're going to be looking at a record attendance for Dorking Wanderers today.
There certainly will be some kind of reception around us. We are sat in the main stand, if you like, here at Dorking, surrounded by fans, really. And if you look down to the right, there's a big pocket of fans over by the tunnel. I think where the bar and the cafe and everything else is, the huge group of fans are around there. But then it's all around the pitch as well. It's completely full. Now, Dorking, listen, I'm no expert on the team of Dorking Wanderers, but I can only imagine that their players won't be used to play. You know, they won't play in front of this week in, week out, and sometimes that can work for you. Sometimes it goes against you.
I mean, the only thing that goes against that, you know, you've got players who've been playing in the Football League. They've got, you know, Pryor, that we mentioned before, 11 goals this season, used to play his football in League 2 with AFC Wimbledon. Jake Gallagher in midfield, over 200 games for Aldershot. Luke Moore won promotion to the Football League with AFC Wimbledon. Sam Beard's come through the ranks at Brighton. So I don't think, you know, they're not going to be intimidated, and they're at home as well. And you know what it's like, once that whistle goes, you kind of forget almost, don't you, about the occasion. But I don't think they'll be undone by the occasion. Just to go back to what you're saying about the ground, though, it is very impressive, this Meadowbank Stadium. £5 million investment. They've been here since 2018, and it's a terrific facility. As I say, it is an artificial pitch. It is a rubber crumb 3G surface, which is probably not what you'd want to be playing on, but it's not bad.
No, I think the more the game goes on, and this for me is why County have got to hit them early. They've got to get out. They've got to play the game quickly, because the more the game goes on, Dorking, as the underdogs, which you have to respectfully call them in this game, the more it goes on, the more confident they're going to get, the more players get a touch of the ball, the calmer they get on it and move it around, the more they frustrate County, the more likely they are to get a foothold in the game. The stadium announcer, John, has just announced that the players are going to be walking out onto the pitch. Trying to work out if I recognise the entrance theme, but No, I don't think I do. But
Ain't no stopping us now, McFadden and Whitehead.
Of course it is. I don't know what I was thinking there. Anyway, the players, we've been told they're coming out. We're about to see them. We're less than 3 minutes away from kick-off. So I assume they're on the way out now. But we understand County are going to be playing in green and black. It's a nice kit, isn't it, that green and black one? I think it's one of the nicer ones that we've seen over the years at County. The tunnel is out. The photographers are in position.
Where are they walking from, Chris? Leatherhead?
I think they might be. Are they walking from the train station?
Changed in Sutton.
Well, the thumbs up has been given by the steward, which is usually the cue to the photographers and the stadium announcer. He's already introduced them.
It is, by the way, the first time ever for Dorking Wanderers in the FA Trophy second round. So that just gives you an indication of where Dorking have come from. They've never been at this stage of this competition before. They are, of course, a part-time outfit. Here at Meadowbank Stadium, it is the home of the Surrey County FA. So if anyone gets a red card today, they don't have to go very far to pay their fine. It's right next door. But every credit to the owner-manager, Mark White, who's a founder member of Dorking Wanderers, as the players finally emerge from the tunnel away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, they were teasing us. Dorking in the red and white vertical stripes. County, as mentioned, green and black shirts, green shorts and green socks. I think they're going to come and line up just in front of us down here, John, which would be nice. And like you said, because it's Dorking's first time this stage of the competition, it's a great learning curve for them. There's, they don't make a secret of the fact they're a very young club. They are going from strength to strength. Whatever happens today, I don't think I expect County to win. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't expect them to absolutely thump and wallop them. And providing that doesn't happen, for Dorking, this is a great learning curve. Playing a team of Stockport County stature, just seeing how County operate, seeing how the team play, seeing how they operate with this many fans in the ground, etc., etc. It's a big learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, none of these County players will be allowed to take today lightly. Jim Gannon will have had them absolutely properly prepared at the meeting this morning at the hotel. They'll have run through everything and every possibility, and he'll be looking for any indication whatsoever of complacency on the part of these Stockport County players today. But they're professional lads. They won't allow that to colour the way they perform today. Great to see so many travelling County fans again, though, Chris. It's it's not cheap to get here. It's a difficult place for County fans to come to. They had a lot of away trips immediately after the Christmas period, which has obviously been expensive for everybody. And to see so many fans here again just defies belief, really. Just
the sense of occasion for Dorking. Just then, listen, I know it's only routine and you can't read too much into it, but even the handshakes between the players, it was a lot friendlier, a lot more than you used to see. And the two skippers were speaking to each other on the way out. Paul Turnbull and Jason Pryor, they were both locked in conversation, and you do get the sense of occasion. We've seen it all over social media this week. Dorking have been posting every single day that Stockport County are coming to town. You walk around the town and there's posters up everywhere, stuck to lampposts and things saying Stockport County, the Stockport County are coming to town. The players are kind of embracing this. And
well, I'm just watching the owner-manager, Mark White. He's on the pitch now with his long black coat on, his black baseball cap and his trainers, and he's just talking to one or two of the players before heading over to the touchline. It is a real-life Championship manager story, isn't it? He was a disgruntled AFC Wimbledon fan. He goes and shakes hands with Jim Gannon. What a massive moment for him today. I don't think he can quite believe it.
He looks like he's on a bit of a catwalk, if I'm honest. More of a fashion parade. Jim Gannon, of course, in his Vanarama National League tracksuit, stood next to him. Yeah, very much like a model.
Well, literally set up 20 years ago with his mates playing in the parks in the Crawley and District League 20 years ago. Surely he could not believe that one day they'd be playing Stockport County, but that's what's happened. And he said before the draw, we would love to get a former league club here. Wish granted. Well, we're just about ready for kick-off.
He got the golden ticket then, didn't he? He got the biggest of the bunch, you would have to say.
Referee is Gary Parsons for County's maiden voyage to this part of the world, to Dorking Wanderers, and we are just about ready for kick-off. The Hatters from left to right as we look at it in this first half, with Ben Hinchliffe standing in front of the County vans to our left, and the fans will be able to change ends at half-time. Yeah, it's that kind of ground. It's the home side on the front foot immediately with the ball out towards the County left. It's well dealt with by Ben Jackson. Early touch for the County loanee, clears it down that side and wins the throw-in on that far touchline. You'll have to excuse us if the large chunks of this game we don't get to see, because we are behind a few stanchions, pillars, some rather wonky glass as well, but it all adds to that sense of a team that's come through the ranks. It's the home side on the ball, but quickly snuffed out there. McShane dispossessed by Keane. Ash Palmer now in possession. Plays it out to the right for Minihan. Minihan back to Ben Hinchliffe. Hinchliffe right-footed up towards Adam Thomas, who's playing right through the middle alongside Niall Bell in the early stages of this one. County with a 3-5-2, we'll call it, but really a 3-4-1-2, because Elliot Osborne is pushing on to support that front two.
Yeah.
As County try and get aggressive in their shape, really.
Adam Thomas is, like you mentioned, he has been given that licence to roam, but going very central with Niall Bell. We've seen how that's supported Niall Bell, how he's benefited from that in recent weeks, and it's a smart move, whether it's Jim Gannon or Adam Thomas orientated.
Ball whipped in towards Niall Bell. It's well cleared by the defender Philpott. Under pressure from Bell, comes back out to Keane. That's a good cross from Keane towards Thomas. Comes out to the edge of the box now for Turnbull. Turnbull will square it for Elliot Osborne. Osborne holding off the challenge of Pryor. Experienced striker back there helping out the defence. Comes to Palmer, who hits the long diagonal towards Sam Minihan. Tom Richards, the left midfielder, heads it clear. Richards scored in the previous round of this competition, a 3-0 win against Bromley. Barham, by the way, Jack Barham, we were talking about from Barnet, scored a hat-trick in the third qualifying round, a 3-0 win at Leatherhead. So you can see why they were so anxious to bring him back, but it hasn't transpired. It may still happen this week, though, but it hasn't happened in time for today. Ball down the right touchline from Cowan, just spins out for a throw-in to the home side, Dorking Wanderers, and great to see this little stadium so packed today. There's open standing around probably just under three quarters of this ground, and then a small stand here, a main stand that we're sitting in. Here's Minihan down the right, taking on the fullback, gets his cross in. This could be a chance for Keane, but it's well cleared by Pryor again. County lose it on the halfway line as the home side dart forward. Pryor again on the ball, just runs into touch. It's a throw in to the home side.
Yeah, it was just nicked off Jordan Keane's toes, that, wasn't it? Just as he's about to pull the trigger.
It's going to be the left-sided defender Beard to take this one. Signed from a club called Loxwood 3 years ago. Free kick, foul by Cowan on the dangerous, prolific Jason Pryor. 5 goals in his last 6 games. He's got the captain's armband today. Scored in the last round, that win against Bromley. And if you're looking for bad omens, that's probably the one. To beat Bromley 3-0, Chris, is no mean feat.
Yeah, you've definitely got something about you. Bromley, of course, flying high in the division above, and that'll give them confidence. I'm sure that same team talk was delivered today.
Luke Moore to take the free kick. It's a right-footed in-swing, a dangerous delivery. Palmer heads it clear. It's going to be recycled from distance. It's a poor attempt, that, from distance by Matt Briggs. County scramble the ball away up towards the halfway line. It's controlled by Gallagher. Squares it for Moore. Moore with that long diagonal again, but County cut out the threat. So Niall Bell beaten in the air by Dan Gallagher, but he gets a second go at it, and he's played a very clever ball through the gap now for Osborne to run onto. What a challenge that is, though, on Elliot Osborne to slow his momentum by Beard. County will pick it up again with Minihan. He's won a corner. What a tackle from Sam Beard. That could be a game saver. What
a fantastic... He had to time that so right. He was coming kind of side... Well, almost from behind, side on, to Elliot Osborne, who was in the penalty area. He had to time that just right, and he did exactly that. And then he showed composure not to go lunging Sam Minihan, who was following up. He's done really well there. County corner, left-footed in-swinger this one. Jackson whips it in at pace, and he's headed just over the bar. Great glancing attempt then from Big Festus Arthur, but couldn't quite guide it goalwards. Yeah, it looked like he'd done everything right there, didn't he, Festus? He got above the ball. Terrific delivery, that. From Ben Jackson. It's what you want to see from a corner. It's got pace on it. It's gone straight into the mix, so the keeper can't really commit to it. And your big centre-half climbing above everybody. It's just unfortunately gone the wrong side of the crossbar. Wow, look at this. Dorking playing out from the back. Well, they played themselves into trouble and conceded a throw-in now in that left-back area. It's an interesting tactic against a side like County, who do press high up the pitch. Throw into the Hatters. I think Adam Thomas showing a bit of urgency to get the throw-in taken quickly following that high press is the right thing to do, because it's putting Dorking under that extra bit of pressure. It's probably a little naive from them to try and play out the back. They're trying to show confidence, which I don't really think you should do this early on in the game. But the fact that Adam Thomas is showing that maybe County can capitalise on this, it might just unsettle them at the back a little.
Little delay while the Slovakian goalkeeper fastens his boot and then has to put his gloves back on. It allows Dorking to get into their shape though and defend this properly. County throw, right side, Minihan to take. First to show is Osborne. The ball doesn't reach him. He shows again. Gives it back to Minihan, but has put it wide of him. It's took a deflection. It's gone out for another County corner. Gannon's such a stickler with these throw-ins, and it actually cost County the first goal, didn't it, from a very similar position last weekend against Boreham Wood, as the visitors broke quickly to the other end.
Paul Turnbull's just reminding Elliot Osborne of that.
Yeah. And from the throw-in, County just about managed to keep hold of the ball with Adam Thomas on the right wing. Is he brought down? The referee looks at it. The linesman says no. Throw-in to the Wanderers on this near side. Dorking, who won the Bostik Prem by a 22-point margin last season. It has been a fairy tale rise through the league tables for this very friendly football club. County throw, near side again. We're back where we started, really, with Minihan taking a throw on the right wing, deep in the Dorking half. Finds Bell this time, who shows and gives it back to Minihan. That's a better routine. Minihan, though, runs into traffic, loses the ball. Here's Pryor facing his own goal, volleys it out towards the right wing, but he's over-egged that one. It's actually hit the roof of the dugout on the far side. 7 minutes gone here on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. It remains 0-0.
Good bit of sustained pressure from County, and what I'm liking is Paul Turnbull's attitude in the middle of the park. He's just reminding the players that they've got to stick to the game plan. He's had a word with Elliot Osborne about just giving the ball straight back on throw-ins. It's what County do. He's showing that bit of aggression, that the urgency that's required, and he's doing well there, just pulling some strings, Paul Turnbull.
I travelled down here on the train this morning. The conversations were all about banking in the city and multi-million-pound houses. It was a bit like being on the train to Cheadle Hulme, really. I didn't notice much difference, if I'm honest. There's Dorking down the right. It's a good diagonal ball into the box. Ben Hinchliffe gathers that one safely. There were two guys, Chris, got on with, I'm not joking, with golf clubs. Got on with 2 full bags of golf clubs.
Well, you can't play golf on a train. It's ridiculous.
It's a very, very nice part of the world, though. We're surrounded by multi-million-pound houses firmly in the commuter belt of Surrey. The leafy lanes within an hour of London.
We should say also there's a football pitch on a park over in the distance.
Yeah.
And it's the slopiest football pitch I've ever seen.
You played on them before. Here's Turnbull, centre circle, finds Palmer. Jackson, first time, back into his own half. Festus Arthur's been caught in possession. He's had his pocket picked. This is dangerous for the Hatters. This could be the opener. Inside the box, it's going to be turned in. Is it? No, he's put it wide. Chance for Pryor. Festus Arthur caught napping. And somehow Pryor fluffed his lines. I don't think it would have counted. I think the flag was up anyway for offside, but Festus Arthur mightily relieved.
Ben Hinchliffe, I think, was asking the question of why the flag hadn't been raised. But Festus, one thing we are going to agree on is he's the most relieved man in this stadium. It was a very, very heavy touch from Festus. He didn't really need to do that. But it just opened up. And the problem with this back three that's so wide, occasionally on there, Ash Palmer was left against 2. They passed their way around him. And really, you expect more from Jason Pryor, who's just steered it the wrong side of the post from a Dorking perspective.
Well, Festus Arthur there, hugely relieved. It was a terrible mistake. Just overran the ball and made it easy for McShane running onto it. I thought McShane was going to go on his own, though, Chris. I don't know. I mean, I would have certainly had a shot from there, but he decided to try and play Pryor in, and it proved to be the wrong thing to do. And Pryor, in the end, was snuffed out. I think it was Dan Cowan who closed him down, did just enough to put him off, and he steered his effort wide of the upright. But you're waiting for the net to bulge, really.
Well, I mean, he should. I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but I think if he has his time again, he does pull the trigger. It's a very awkward angle for Ben Hinchliffe. He's probably not, if it is on target, he's probably not going to be able to catch it, and it just leaves Pryor with a tap in. But you can see why he's gone the long way around to try and make sure, but really, you've got to be shooting from there.
A let-off for the Hatters. with 9 minutes gone rather, when Pryor looked as though he was going to break the deadlock, but it remains 0-0 here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com, and it's a goal kick to the Hatters now, which Ben Hinchliffe will take. County, of course, like Dorking, still looking for their first win of 2020, and will it come today? Probably the result Jim Gannon doesn't want, although it would keep us in the competition, would be a draw and a replay on Tuesday night at Edgeley Park, and especially with events off the pitch, with him trying to sign players, get new recruits in, and he'd appreciate, I think, a full week of training, and that's something he's not had the opportunity to do in recent weeks, as Osborne crosses, drills it in hard and low from the right hand side. It was a good ball in, but it's well cleared by Gallagher. Throw into County down the right.
Great cross from Elliot Osborne, hard and low. It was almost a shot across the box. Now, Jim Gannon has spoken about players on numerous occasions about knowing when to do different types of crosses, when to hang it high, when to whip it across, when to fizz it, and Elliot Osborne has just shown perfectly what he should do in that position there.
There was an assault there on Adam Thomas, but the referee, who had a good view of it, didn't give anything. He's actually stopped the game now to allow Thomas to receive treatment, but it was a forearm smash across the face, and he's stayed down. He's
actually holding his knee, and Elliot Osborne has just been saying to the ref how high the challenger's foot was. He's actually pointing at his knee, and straight away the referee has indicated to physio Luke Smith to get over there as quick as he can, because he looks in some discomfort there, Adam.
Yeah, he was caught high up, but I think it was the landing, or whether there was a stray boot as well, but there was an arm right across the face that initially sent him spiralling backwards. But as you say, Chris, it's the right knee, isn't it, for Adam Thomas that's the concern, and it's also an issue, isn't it, on these pitches. You do pick up these kind of impact injuries.
Yeah, well, currently carrying one myself, John, so don't think I can completely say that I can relate to Adam Thomas. I think he's taken one a lot harder than I did, but he's
well, and now he's gone back. We can say Devante Rodney was saying he absolutely hates playing on these kind of surfaces. It's psychologically it affects him as much as anything.
Well, I mean, I was watching Paul Turnbull a moment ago when a player was trying to break past him, and I was thinking, is he going to slide in for this? Because usually you would expect him to do just that, and he'd obviously had second thoughts about it. Now, Adam Thomas, you just worry because of his history with injuries and his track record. He's become such an important figure for County. When you see him down for sustained period, which he is now, although getting back to his feet very, very gingerly, you really hope it's not a problem.
Just looking down below me, one of the busiest parts of the ground, by the way, there's a little fenced-off area sort of to the side behind the stand that we're sitting in, and it's the smoking area, and it's probably the busiest part of the ground, and people are able to drink in there as well. So there's lads with pints and a cigarette hiding under a little tin corrugated roof, and it must be about 30 people in there as well. But the game is going to restart with a drop ball, which is fired into the County half. It's dealt with by Ash Palmer. Will come straight back though from midfield, pinged forward there by Jake Gallagher, his brother Dan playing at centre half today. Here is Dan Gallagher, but he's lost the ball. Thomas seems to have recovered. Keane, little drag back there with the right foot, holding off the challenge of his opposite number. Now Minihan takes over on the right, gives it back to Adam Thomas. Thomas now to Turnbull, great feet from Turnbull, draws the foul from Niall McManus, knew it was coming, made the most of it, and gets the free kick.
Yeah, he's done quite well there, Paul Turnbull. I don't think he needed really to win the free kick, but the ball was just rolling away from him, so he's accepted that invitation. Thank you very much, I'll go straight down. And now County have got a good opportunity to get the ball straight into Dorking's penalty area.
Turnbull looking at the options for a short free kick. He's looking over at the bench as well to see if there's any guidance from the manager. Difficult to hear, I think, from there. He is just going to float this one in though. See what happens. The keeper's come a long way and he's claimed it. It's good goalkeeping from the incredible Huck, Slav Huck, twice Player of the Year here. You can hear the fans immediately singing his name.
They should have made him captain.
The ball is with Dorking in the County half now, out to this left-hand side. Good control by Richards, taking on Sam Minihan. Minihan gets his tackle in, puts it out for a throw-in. Tom Richards signed from Leatherhead along with McManus a couple of years ago. Came through the ranks at Fulham. Also had a spell at Kitzbühel in the Austrian 4th Division. I bet it was cold there.
Yeah. But it's... I like experience like that. You don't come across players like that every day.
25 years of age, Tom Richards. He's leaving the throw for 21-year-old Sam Beard to take. Beard. Richards cross. It's a deep ball. It's a little too deep, in fact. Jackson will shepherd that one out. Throw into the Hatters. And he'll leave it for Festus Arthur, who's the left-sided centre-half, is on the throw-in duties on that left touchline. This one deep in the county half. He's standing next to the corner flag to take it. Hurls it upfield now. It's touched on towards Elliot Osborne. Osborne losing possession though. Dorking will spring a counter-attack through midfield. They've got a spare man on the left in Richards. Richards will get this into the county box, but again too close to Ben Hinchliffe. Now then, Hinchliffe with the early clearance. Niall Bell looking to try and control it with his left. Just took his eye off the ball and in the end clatters into the centre half. Felt he was impeded, but the centre half knew exactly what he was doing there. It's good defending in the end from Phil Potts, who just eased Niall Bell away from the ball and the goalkeeper, and Hock was able to gather that one safely. He plays it out to the left side for Beard. Beard bringing it up towards halfway, goes long again towards Pryor. Pryor's glancing header. The run from McShane. The shot from McShane is wide of the target and it stays. Dorking 0, Stockport County 0. 17 minutes gone here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com.
Second real chance Dorking have had to pull the trigger, and it's almost like they'd learned the lesson from the first one. That time they weren't going to try and move the ball around as soon as the opportunity came along. He did get his laces behind it, couldn't find the target this time, but County playing well, but there are just little openings Dorking are finding, and only takes one of them to just change the rhythm of the game.
County throw again on this right side, level with the edge of the Dorking penalty area, as the Wanderers with this resolute back three try and keep County at bay. They're yet to concede a goal in the FA Trophy this season, having beaten Leatherhead and Bromley by 3-0. Minihan beaten in the air this time by Richards. It's helped on by Pryor. Minihan's there though to win it back for County. Cowan takes over, he's giving it away. It's a sloppy pass from Cowan, but it was a poor piece of control in midfield from the home side's Luke Moore. They'll get another chance though as the ball's played out to Pryor on the left. It's just slightly overhit by the ambitious Matt Briggs, who's a University of Surrey student. Put that into touch though, and it will be a throw-in to the Hatters, which Dan Cowan will take. And you've got to say at the moment you couldn't separate these two sides, and arguably Dorking the better chances in the game.
Yeah, certainly the one where they've played it across the box. I think County have got to be a little bit stronger. We've just seen Niall Bell go down. This time, okay, he's been given the free kick, but a couple of times now County players are looking to the ref protesting. Now, we've seen this from lower league teams, from certainly teams of Dorking stature. They're going to get physical when it suits them, and it's certainly effective if the referee's not giving you everything. So County, a little bit more discipline, a little bit more strength. Their quality will begin to show through.
Foul from Luke Moore, the electrician. He thought he was being a bright spark by kicking the ball away as well, but the referee didn't agree with that. That's a good header from Bell. The ball is loose on the 18-yard line. It's headed away, but only as far as Turnbull. Bell takes over again. Quick feet from Niall Bell down the right flank. There are 4, 5, 6 black and green shirts inside the penalty area. Bell still tussling with Richards on the near side. Has to make do with a throw-in in the end. There was a real overload on that left side of the penalty area. Bell unable to manufacture the cross. County have won a throw-in though. Minihan to take. 19.5 minutes gone. Still 0-0.
That's when Niall Bell, when he really starts getting the ball under his spell and using that power and using that pace that he's got, he can become a real handful. It's no surprise to see them doubling up on him.
Osborne back to Minihan. It's another County throw. What can Minihan produce here? Turnbull first to show. The ball never came. He shows again. It still doesn't come because it's gone to Adam Thomas, who was adjudged to have leaned into the defender. Not sure how, because he ended up on his knees, but it is a free kick to Dorking Wanderers. 20 minutes gone here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com, and it remains 0-0 in this FA Trophy second round tie. And as I said earlier, not a lot to choose between the two teams at the moment. We're waiting for the breakthrough, and it's Dorking who probably come the closest to breaking that deadlock. Here's Beard under pressure from Adam Thomas. It's another county throw.
I don't think Adam Thomas had any right to claim that throw-in, but County have been given it.
Yeah, an interesting one that, wasn't it? County throw then. Cowan will take this one. It's a little further back than the previous examples. Cowan gets it back from Thomas. Got the freedom of the park here to get a cross in. Leaves it for Minihan instead, who drives it in hard and low. Adam Thomas will fire it goalwards. The angle was shocking, really. I'm not really sure why he's gone for goal from that tight angle, but he has, and it's way over the bar.
I can't help but think Dan Cowan could have got that cross in a little bit earlier, if I'm honest. Sam Minihan was a little crowded and didn't have the options available to him that Dan Cowan did. Really, they've just got to be asking more questions. Dorking haven't had as many. They haven't had as much possession or as much territory as County have, but they've asked the questions when they've got close, and County yet to do that, really.
Well, whatever happens today, County pick up a minimum of £1,000. That's the losers' share of a £4,000 pot this afternoon. The winners getting 3. The big money comes in the final, of course, 60,000 for the winners. Here's Keane from distance, not too far away. Well, we've seen this element to Jordan Keane's game in recent weeks, arriving late, making those runs, arriving on the edge of the penalty area, and that one sat up nicely for him, inviting him to take the pot shot, just missing the target.
Yeah, it was good effort that from Jordan Keane. He's got over it, got his foot around it, not gone too far wide. It's a well-controlled effort.
Midway through the first half, still 0-0. That's Dorking in possession, kicking from right to left as we look at it, the home side in their red and white stripes. The back of their shirts is white though, which means you can see the numbers properly. It's a good break down the right here. They've got a chance to cross. It's too high for Pryor. It's a poor ball in from Briggs, former Blackburn Rovers academy winger, who actually had a trial at Northampton last season before the Cobblers decided to sign a certain Matty Warburton. So he's a good prospect, Matt Briggs, the University of Surrey student, twice Young Player of the Year here, but that was a poor ball in from the wide man, trying to pick out Pryor, but much too high with the cross. It is a goal kick to the Hatters. Ben Hinchliffe to take. The disappointment, I suppose, for Jim Gannon at the moment, 0-0. He won't be too unhappy with that, but County yet to test the goalkeeper, Slavhoek.
Yeah, and they've had opportunities too. That's the frustrating thing. You know, Niall Bell, Adam Thomas have both made great runs down the sides. Niall Bell found himself in and around the box. Elliot Osborne has done a lot of running, but we've not really seen enough from him yet.
Well, here he is now down the right flank. He's got his cross in and he's won a corner for the Hatters. Great effort that from Osborne. As you rightly say, he's struggled really to get into the game so far, but he drifted out there into a wide area, found that little pocket of space and got his cross in. Now look at this. Dorking, although they're defending a corner, they're leaving 3 players up on the halfway line. And they've lost Minihan now, who's going for the short corner. He's used as a decoy, though, as it's whipped in towards the near post, towards Jordan Keane. It's actually headed behind, though, by Beard on the near post. That one's bounced onto the roof of the Surrey County FA headquarters, so a replacement ball will be required. It's another county corner.
Well-worked corner again. Fizzed in, dangerous height, dangerous sort of area it's landed, and Jordan Keane going for the little glance this time rather than Festus. Good options for County in the middle.
Well, Minihan's committed now, so they're only leaving 2 on the halfway line. The header at the far post just wide of the target. Ash Palmer arriving late on the edge of the 6-yard box, but goal kick is the end result. County with 4 attempts this afternoon, all off target. Dorking with 2 better attempts, albeit they were both off target as well, and it remains 0-0. 25 minutes gone here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. Throw in to the Wanderers on this near touchline. It's Sam Beard to take, a player who came through the ranks as a youngster at Brighton. He's their reigning Young Player of the Year, the 21-year-old left-sided centre half. County winning the ball back. Minihan, Turnbull, dinks it forward now towards Bell. It's a good challenge, though, from the defender, Phil Potts, who gets it away from him. He's done well there, Phil Pott. He's a local lad. Started his career with Sutton United just down the road. The ball then played out to Dan Gallagher, the makeshift centre-half today, former AFC Wimbledon man. Phil Pott, Gallagher again, prods it forward and finds his brother Jake. That's given away, though, by Jake Gallagher in midfield. It's picked off by Cowan. Osborne, it's all a bit tight for Elliot Osborne. He's lost possession again. It's played out to the right-hand side this time by Luke Moore. Then they'll switch it to the left with Tom Richards. Richards coming in off that left touchline. Minihan chasing him, hassling, harrying all the way. He still manages to release the ball to Dan Gallagher. Gallagher down the line for Briggs. Briggs trying to find that chink in the County back line, but in the end all he does is finds Ben Hinchliffe with the through ball. Hinchliffe immediately upfield towards Niall Bell. Has he got the better of the bounce? Oh, Phil Pott just about scrambles it away. He's mightily relieved there, the local lad, re-signed 2.5 years ago, having played some football for Cardiff Metropolitan University, where he was a student. Thomas chests that down beautifully to Minihan, who returns the favour. Thomas wide right, 3 arriving in the box for County. He might have to settle for a corner, and indeed he does. County's 4th corner of the day. Yeah,
he's taking it right down to the touchline, Adam Thomas. That's what Adam Thomas does, isn't it? That's his style, and I think Dorking might just be starting to sense that, because the man wasn't going to fall for the dummy this time. I still think Elliot Osborne, he's showing the engine, he's showing the willing, but the end product's just not there at the moment. The decision making isn't always what it could be with Elliot. I found in the last couple of games he turned into traffic there when Niall Bell was making a really good run in front of him.
Ben Jackson's corner, too high for Festus Arthur at the far post. Phil Pott just nicks it off the toes of Palmer. Palmer keeps it alive, though, and finds Keane. Keane inside the penalty area, just loses his footing. It is that kind of surface. And he gets the ball cleared by Dorking now for McShane to chase, but Richards has gone right across. It's a foul by Richards. Free kick to the Hatters in front of the away dugout, just in front of Jim Gannon there. 27.5 minutes gone, still 0-0.
County, you've got to say, I think County are the best. They are playing the better football. He's actually going to get a booking for that,
yellow,
which
yeah. A booking for Tom Richards.
A little harsh, but okay. The referee. It's an odd time to set the tone for tackles, given that we've had a couple already. But maybe Dorking have just been guilty of getting a little physical in the last few minutes, and he's just looking to stamp that out as it kicks off. But County are playing the better football. They just maybe it's a little harsh on Elliot Osborne to single him out. Now Bell, Adam Thomas, and Dan Cowan. When they get into that final third, the decision-making sometimes has just been a little off. Where we usually see an early cross, we've seen a pass out wide. Where we've usually seen, a long-range effort or a dink into the box, we've just seen something else. And County not really there just yet. But they come again.
Bell, though, through the gap, running onto it is Osborne. It's well saved by the keeper. Best moment of the game so far for the Hatters.
Yeah, much better. Elliot Osborne got over that. Kept his foot wrapped right the way around it. Kept his shot on target. It's a good save, actually, from Captain Hook.
Yep, great save by the Hook.
He's not the captain, but I'm saying it.
First shot on target. It's taken nearly half an hour to come. And Elliot Osborne denied by the man in all pink. County throw, right-hand side. Best chance so far, though, for the Hatters. County throw, right-hand side. Cowan will get the return from Turnbull, but then gives it away very carelessly. Dorking will break, but they've not got too many forward in this attack. Pryor plays it out to the wing. He's asking a lot there of Briggs. And County able to turn it back to Hinchliffe, but that was a good chance for the Hatters at the other end.
It was a good chance for the Hatters, and I tell you what, with that through ball, then what it's just shown, it's really nice to see, and a great reminder of why Jim Gannon has so much faith in Ben Jackson. He's just tried to slot that through ball through, and it would require the winger having the legs on Ben Jackson. And let me tell you, he's had absolutely no chance. Ben Jackson started with a head start as it was, and the gap just got wider and wider and wider. And Ben Jackson, that composure that he's learning in his game, we spoke about his first few games. You think back to Chorley and Bournemouth, where he was guilty of misplaced passes. Not anymore. He's done really well there.
Adam Thomas is onside. He's wide left at the moment. Tees it up for Osborne, 25 yards from goal. On the edge of the area, he's going to shoot from here, hard and low, but in the end, the keeper got his body right behind it. Comfortable save for Hook, but County getting closer.
Yeah, better from Elliot Osborne. Better that he's playing more like a number 10 now. He's trying to find the sights of goal. He's making efforts for himself, making chances for himself, and pulling the trigger when he can.
Here's McManus finding Richards on the left side. Checks back inside. Minion happy to show him in. McShane squares it into midfield. Long range shot, took a deflection. It's the first corner for the home side. The shot coming in from Jake Gallagher. Took a little nick there, and well, let's see how County get on defending against Dorking set pieces now.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how many players County leave on the halfway line, and the answer is none, because even Niall Bell and Adam Thomas are making their way back into the penalty area. The furthest man forward is going to be Elliot Osborne or Sam Minihan, who's in their own D. So everybody back for County.
It's going to be taken by Tom Richards, who's got to jog across from left wing to right to take this corner. He's in no hurry, the former Leatherhead man, player who came through the ranks with Fulham before joining Aldershot. So Richards, a left-footed in-swinger. They're all lined up on the edge of the D. Then they break, but it's headed away by Ash Palmer out towards the right wing, where Minihan will keep it alive for County. Minihan now, bursting run towards the halfway line, but he's very isolated. He's done well to win the throw-in just inside Dorking territory. That's great work from Minihan.
It's really good work, and he's just playing a little bit of mind games with Luke Moore. His opposite number, he took the ball off him then and conceded the throw-in. Luke Moore attempting to appeal for the throw-in, and Sam Minihan just having a laugh with him. You like to see that, players on the pitch just bouncing off one another.
Said Dorking, it's the first time in the second round of the trophy, but Luke Moore has actually won it before with Ebbsfleet, as Adam Thomas wins corner number 5 for County. So there is a former Wembley winner on the pitch in Luke Moore, the electrician, in his third season now with Dorking Wanderers. Also won promotion to the league with AFC Wimbledon. He's an experienced campaigner, the holding midfielder, 31 now. County corner away to our right hand side. Jackson takes left-footed in swinger, whips it in towards Palmer. His head has gone right across the face of goal, but it comes back to Jackson to strike it. Did it catch the arm of the defender? The referee says no. Linesman had a good view as well. Did seem to come off the shoulder of this man. Oh, that's a late one from Adam Thomas as well. He's left one in there, on Luke Moore. Oof, I think that's a free kick that's not been given, as Ben Hinchliffe has to smother the threat at the other end. Meanwhile, Luke Moore has stayed down. He's having a right go at the linesman, who's not given the foul by Adam Thomas. Thomas has put his arms out as if to say, I didn't do anything wrong there. For me, that's a foul.
It is, and Ben Hinchliffe has gone down on the other side. I think he's going to be okay. When he smothered the ball, I think he just took a knock. He's going to be appreciating the break in play as the referee just does go over to Luke Moore and say, "Are you okay?" He's fine now. Look at him. He's up and running.
One or two half-hearted appeals for a penalty earlier on, Chris. How did you view that one?
He looked like he had his hands behind his back. There was nothing more he could have done. It was a terrific effort from Ben Jackson. We'd love to see the composure that these counter players, Jordan Keane, Elliot Osborne, and now Jordan Keane, have shown that when the ball's coming out, it's not necessarily rolling clean to them. They're getting over the ball. They're getting the foot wrapped nicely around it. And Ben Jackson has put some real power behind that.
That's great work from Jackson. Lovely 1-2 with Niall Bell, but then it's equally good tracking back from Matt Briggs. He's a winger, but that was super defending from Briggs. County have won it back, though. Jackson involved again on that left-hand side, and he's taking on Briggs. Tries to skip round him. In the end, he's run out of pitch. And that will be a throw-in to Dorking Wanderers. We've played 34 minutes, 11 to go to the break here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. It remains Dorking Wanderers 0, Stockport County 0.
I think Jim Gannon will be fairly happy with what he's seen. County have exerted more of the pressure. They have started to come a little bit more alive in front of goal. The first 20 minutes, nothing really to show for County's efforts in midfield. as the game's gone on, Elliot Osborne, Jordan Keane, Ben Jackson, Niall Bell, Festus Arthur, they've all began to ask questions of the goalkeeper, some on target, some not. Dorking, on the other hand, they'll be happy because they've absorbed a lot of pressure, but they have broken, shown intent as well, and really, you've got to say, they should be ahead. Given that chance early on, that's the best chance of the afternoon for either side, and it absolutely should have been put to bed.
Dorking's owner, manager, founder, chairman, director, over on the far side from us, hasn't sat down once. He's pacing around his technical area, thoroughly absorbed in this game with his long black coat and his hands in his pockets and his black baseball cap, his black trousers. Looks like the milk tray man from here. Here's Jason Pryor, right wing for Dorking. Can they manufacture an opening down that side? They've been forced back into a congested midfield again. Niall McManus plays it back out to Briggs on the wing, follows his pass, but Briggs has played it into touch. Careless ball from Briggs, throw in to the Hatters in County's left back area. 0-0, less than 10 to play in the first half.
Yeah, and I think County are fairly comfortable, if I'm honest. The way they're playing, the way that they're moving the ball around. I think those early scares have probably just wizened them up a little bit. Festus Arthur in particular, such is the shock and the adrenaline that comes with that after you make such a glaring error. The fact that he's been let off the hook, he's not put a foot wrong since, and it's just shored County up around the back. So they do look fairly comfortable. It's just about being clinical now and getting the job done.
Cowan deep in his own half, bringing the ball up towards the halfway line. Cowan plays it through the legs of McManus. A lovely touch from Adam Thomas, who gets the ball back from Minihan down the right wing. 3 in the area to pick out. It's a little deep this time, though. Jackson might recycle it from the other side. He's kept it in play, and he's got support from Keane. Keane on his right foot prods it through the gap. It was an ambitious ball for Osborne, who didn't manage to get there ahead of Dan Gallagher, who clears. Now it's with Luke Moore. Over to the left side for Richards. Down the line. It's a good run from Pryor across the pitch, but he couldn't keep it in play. Throw into the Hatters.
Dan Cowan's just showed a little bit of experience there to try and hurry the throw in. The referee not having any of it, though. Dan Cowan, he was guilty, as probably fair to say he is on most throw-ins he wins, of stealing a few yards.
It is a County throw towards Thomas, who hooks it over his own head. Niall Bell, poor touch from Bell, came off the studs and ricochets out for a throw-in.
Little flat that from Niall Bell, because the touch wasn't great and it was going to go out for a throw-in, but if he had been busting a gut, I think he probably could have kept that in.
Very difficult to control a bouncing ball like that with the sole of your foot, isn't it? Especially on this surface where the bounce is a little high. Philpott back to his goalkeeper Huck, who wants it on his right foot. Eventually works it that way. Finds Dan Gallagher. He's lucky he didn't go to Elliot Osborne, but Dan Gallagher takes over. Plays it down the line. Comes back into midfield. McManus now. Pirouettes away and finds Pryor all the way back into his own half. The goalkeeper's played it out to the right for Dan Gallagher. Signed on a free from Leatherhead in the summer. 3 or 4 former Leatherhead players in this team. Pryor out to the wing for Briggs. Briggs running onto it. Jackson gets there first, tries to play it off Briggs to claim a throw-in, but it's still in play. Jackson in the end able to clear up towards halfway. Adam Thomas. For me, the defenders jumped into him, but the referee saw nothing wrong with the challenge from Sam Beard and has allowed play to go on. It's in midfield now with Moore. Out to the right-hand side as Briggs carries it forward. Briggs back into midfield. McManus takes over. Darting through a gap inside the penalty area. Was he tripped by Festus Arthur? The referee has a look at it and then says it was a dive.
Wow.
He's penalised the Leatherhead man, McManus, for a dive. And it's a yellow card as well.
I thought that.
He is livid about the decision now, McManus. I think he did throw himself over a trailing leg. I think that's what the referee's seen. But I think the booking is harsh.
Well, I mean, he's got to give it, hasn't he? He's got to give the booking in accordance to the rules if you're going to do that. But I'll be honest, heart was in mouth for a moment there. Festus, again, he will be mightily relieved. Now, he's an interesting character, Festus. I love the guy. I think he's a terrific character. And he's playing a lot of games for a guy with not a great deal of experience. And at the moment, there's just a few times he's being caught out. But Jim Gannon, rightly so, I think, has the confidence to continue playing him. But he will give you those moments. He will give you those scares.
Great touch by McShane out to the right-hand side. Again for McManus, really fired up after that decision went against him. Got to be careful, McManus, now, though. He's on a yellow card. They've had a couple of cheap bookings in this first half. McManus and Richards, both on yellows.
Yeah.
The ball is back with Slav Huck now. Left side is Beard. Beard gives it back to Huck again. Huck bringing it to the edge of his area. They do like to play out. Plays it into midfield for McShane, who's come very deep to pick it up. Finds Dan Gallagher in that right-back area. The right-sided centre-half today. It's a lovely chest control from Pryor. McShane again, this time in the county half. Plays it into midfield for Moore, out to the left for Richards, who'll take on Minihan. Minihan showing him inside onto his weaker right foot. Squared now to McManus again. Right side is the winger Briggs. Briggs taking on the fullback and getting his cross in. It needed the attention of Ash Palmer to glance that one behind. It's a Dorking corner, and they're finishing the half strongly.
Yep, they're breaking forward, and I think you're right there when you talk about Niall McManus being booked for diving. What that's done is it kind of dents you when it's a simulation one. It's almost like your integrity's being questioned, and like you say, he's playing now like he's got a bit of a point to prove.
Dorking corner headed away by Ash Palmer. Edge of the box is Minihan to help it on its way up towards halfway, but there's no county shirts there. It's going to come straight back from Sam Beard. Beard to the right hand side now, finding Moore. Played into the county penalty area. It was a tame effort in the end, which Ben Hinchliffe easily fields, and then bowls into space for Minihan to run onto. Minihan with plenty of 3G grass to move on to. Advances down this right hand side. McManus, Osborne, Keane now. Left side is Jackson. He's done well to get past the defender. He's gone for goal. A cross come shot. Osborne let it run because it was on target, but it was an easy take for the goalkeeper Slav Huck. So Jackson again making an impact down that left side, Chris.
Yeah, I think he's having a really good game out there, Ben Jackson, if I'm honest. He's doing well getting up the pitch. He's linking up well with the likes of Elliot Osborne and Niall Bell, but I'm so impressed with his defensive composure as well. The fact that a couple of times he's been tested, they obviously have faith in their own right winger, so they're happy to say go 50-50 with him. Ben Jackson's just winning everything, and it's a completely different player from the beginning of his first spell here.
Dan Gallagher down the right wing gives the ball away, but Dorking win it back on the halfway line. It's Jake Gallagher, his brother. Here's Niall McManus, Jake Gallagher, Philpott, Dan Gallagher. Nice football, nice build-up, steady, patient from Wanderers. On the right wing is Briggs again, being shepherded away though by Jackson. They've got to go long now with Dan Gallagher. It's headed away by Cowan, but the ball's going to come back with interest from that right-hand side. Now they've switched it to the left. McManus, McShane. Now back to the right again. It's a good header down from Pryor, but he couldn't quite find the runners from midfield. Cleared up to halfway, and it drifts out for a county throw-in. We've not seen much in terms of goal threat from the home side, with the exception of that chance in the opening 10 minutes. Ben Hinchliffe has been the quieter of the two keepers.
I think that's to be expected, isn't it? I think Dorking, although they're doing well in their own division, and although they'll have a lot of self-confidence dispatching Bromley in the previous round, on paper County the stronger team, and that leads to the mindset being a little different, that you expect County to maybe not dominate, but certainly be the stronger team, and they are doing that. But I don't think either team have made the most of the possession that they've had, and Dorking is a case in point. That terrific chance early on in the first half that they really should have capitalised on. But County, again, Sam Minahan's just brought it inside and had the ball taken off him when really there was options further forward for him, and I just like to see them be a little bit sharper. Just offer that little bit more of a ruthless kind of presence in front of goal, or certainly in the final third. It just says we can finish this really good football build-up off.
Here's Briggs. It's opened up for him to have a shot from distance. It was on target. It must have moved because Ben Hinchliffe suddenly had to adjust at the end, and he bats it clear. And now County at the other end threatening, but Beard goes across to take it away from Niall Bell, and that's well defended by Dorking Wanderers. A little bit of belief for Dorking in the latter stages of this first half.
Yeah, they're going to come again now, but again they've tried that through ball.
Now the linesman's flagging because it's a foul by Briggs on the far side, and Jackson brought down. Free kick to County just on the edge of the Hatters penalty area.
What they do really well is they either do this long diagonal. It clearly works for them week in, week out, because it's a very, very obvious strategy that they're doing. They're playing the long diagonal, or they're playing it diagonally right along the ground through the central midfielders to try and find Briggs. Now, yeah, Briggs, all right, he's got a bit of pace about him. Yeah, he's almost like a traditional winger, but he's got absolutely no chance in a 100-metre sprint against Ben Jackson. No chance whatsoever. He's lost out on every single occasion. They've got to try something different if they're going to have some success down there.
Deep in stoppage time at the end of the first half as Jake Gallagher dispossesses Adam Thomas. It's his brother Dan who takes over. Now it's back with Huck, the goalkeeper. And the whistle goes for half-time. Dorking certainly started the game very brightly here and almost took a shot lead when James McShane dispossessed Festus Arthur's poor clearance on the halfway line, and he fed the ball through to prolific striker Jason Pryor. You were waiting for the net to bulge, but he glanced his effort wide of the upright, and County were able to breathe again. But County grew into the game on 28 minutes. They went close to taking the lead. Niall Bell's lovely through ball picking out Elliot Osborne, but his curling shot was well saved by goalkeeper Slav Huck. County have had the bulk of the opportunities in that first half. 8 attempts on goal to Dorking's 4, but at half-time it's 0-0.
Yeah, County will, I think they'll be happy to go in and just have a reconvene, but by and large, John, they're doing everything right, with the exception of putting the ball in the back of the net. Defensively, I think they're sorted, albeit a couple of slip-ups. In the midfield, Jordan Keane and Paul Turnbull are winning that battle. Moving forward, Ben Jackson and Adam Thomas are having good success down the flanks. We're just not seeing that ruthless touch, and if County are going to progress today, we don't really want it to be Tuesday, but if they're going to progress today, they've just got to make one chance and make it count from the attacking possession that they're having.
Half-time, and if it stays like this, we're heading for a replay at Edgeley on Tuesday evening. Half-time here, though, at the Meadowbank Stadium. It is Dorking Wanderers 0, Stockport County 0.
It all comes down to this.
Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com. Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
And the weather, 30 degrees.
Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
Welcome back to Stockport County Live. Welcome back to Imagine Radio. Welcome back to Dorking in the FA Trophy, where it's currently goalless between the Wanderers and Stockport County. Mark White, manager of Dorking, has just made his way back onto the pitch. Very enthusiastically, it's got to be said. He's gesturing to the Dorking fans, waving to them. Almost like he's leading a squad with his coaches behind him. So the players, you would imagine, will be out in any moment. The county substitutes, it doesn't look like there's going to be any there, out knocking the ball around on the pitch at half-time, just keeping warm as the temperature begins to drop. Not a great deal to write home about in this first half. Dorking coming close on a couple of occasions. Really should have taken the lead when they had an opportunity to smash the ball past Ben Hinchliffe. Instead tried to play it around him, and it was almost like the star striker, the star man, lost his footing in front of goal, Jason Pryor, and just put the ball wide of the target. County did come back stronger towards the end of the second half. Elliot Osborne, Niall Bello having chances, Ben Jackson coming close, Jordan Keane getting over and wrapping his foot around the ball, but the goal remained intact. And the goalless first half, if you like, John. not much to write about, but County can take some positives from it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think with the exception of the first 10 minutes where we seemed a little slow to get going, whether it's getting used to the surroundings, getting used to this playing surface, I'm not sure, but once we grew into the game, I think County were probably the better side. Just that wobble in those early stages where that ball in from the right from McShane found Pryor at the far post, as you rightly said, and I was expecting him to pull the trigger and score, but County then probably had the better chance after that when Elliot Osborne was sent through by Niall Bell, but the goalkeeper was equal to it. So yeah, County 8 shots to Dorking's 4, probably what you would expect. 5 corners to Dorking's 2. They've had the bulk of the possession as well. But they won't want to replay. They won't want to finish this game at 0-0. They could do without that additional fixture, particularly with Jim trying to bed players in, trying to have a clear week with training and so on. He won't want a replay on Tuesday night, that's for sure.
Well, there's an old saying, if you like, there's an old belief that over 2 legs cup ties, be it if it's via a replay or if it's just a 2-legged affair, that the higher ranked team should come through. Cup upsets usually happen in the one game, where something happens and whatever. Now, you wouldn't really call it a massive cup upset, but County, they've got to show that little bit of quality, that little bit of class, that little bit of craft that they have that Dorking won't have being the level below. Because, like you say, County should still win it, even if it's today or in the replay, should there be one. But for all those reasons you mentioned before the game, and just the fact that Dorking are a tough side as County make their way back out onto the pitch, it's not a dead cert, is it? It's not something that we should be taking for granted, that we can get past these.
It's not, but the only people in our contingent who would actually not mind a replay are the players, actually, because they'll tell you now they would much rather play a game than train, which would be the alternative. So I think they probably wouldn't be quite as bothered as everyone else. But as it stands, 0-0, County looking the better side. They have created opportunities in that first half. They've just got to be a little bit more precise with the final ball, a little bit more clinical in front of goal. Need to see a little bit more from Niall Bell as well.
Yeah, for me, I think Bell is okay when he's got the ball at his feet, when he's able to take it under control, and he's shown that he's got fast feet if he needs to. He's got tidy, this ability to roll his foot over the ball, knock it round his man, take it wide. But it's when he's off the ball for me, when he's challenging, when the goal kicks are coming forward, he's been out-muscled a little bit, and he's stronger than that, he's better than that, and the temperature is starting to drop here now, so he's going to have to stay active to keep that mentality about him. So we're going to have to see a lot more movement from these players and giving Niall Bell the ball, because he is a confidence player, and if he can start to get some confidence about him, have a couple of efforts on goal early doors, get some good early touches, take his man on whatever, he's the kind of player that you can be frightened to play against if you're a defender, especially from a lower level, especially when you know that County are now going to start coming on strong. He's not exactly the kind of player you want to face up against Niall Bell, and Elliot Osborne's got to give him the service, Adam Thomas got to give him the service, Ben Jackson's got to give him the service. But if they do give him the service and he does get his confidence going, he's a real danger man, and he could be the difference today.
The teams have changed ends, the fans have changed ends as well. The Dorking supporters moving to that open terrace away to our right, the County fans to the standing areas away to our left, and we are just about ready for kick-off. It's going to be the Hatters who get us underway, kicking from right to left as we look at it in this second 45 minutes. I can tell you no changes on either side at half-time, so that does suggest both managers relatively pleased with what they've seen so far. So County continuing with Ben Hinchliffe in goal, a back three of Cowan, Palmer and Arthur, a midfield four of Minihan, Keane, Turnbull and Jackson, with Osborne in the hole behind Thomas and Bell. County on the ball immediately from the outset, down the right-hand side, cleared by Dorking Wanderers, back up towards halfway. County come again with Turnbull, cleared by the left-sided defender Beard. County trying to find another way in with Osborne, Minihan. Down the right is Adam Thomas, drifting into a familiar position. His cross deflects into the path of Osborne, who strikes it right across the face of goal, and it's actually going out for a throw-in rather than a corner. A goal kick, I should say.
I think you talk about a cross-come shot in the first half. I think it was more of a shot come cross, wasn't it? But it's good opening from County. They've tried to get 2 crosses in. The first one deflected, second one's gone all the way across, but it shows, we're talking about midfield players giving the service to the front man. Well, that's how you do it. You get the ball in the box, get it down low or up high, whichever one suits him best, and they've gone to work early, County.
Palmer's let the ball run, and it was probably a mistake as the winger Briggs pounces onto it, but Dan Cowan just mopping up there on the cover, just spotting the danger, making sure that McShane, the live wire striker, wasn't going to get in behind then. But just a moment there, a bit slight misjudgment from Ash Palmer. 46 minutes gone here on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. 0-0 in this FA Trophy second round tie. £3,000 for the winners this afternoon. More importantly, a place in the third round of the FA Trophy, of course, a step closer to that Wembley final. County semi-finalists last year, that's the furthest they've ever gone in the competition. This is the furthest Dorking have ever gone in the competition, the second round.
There was a good covering that from Dan Cowan a moment ago. You talking about how he just kind of sensed something was coming. Jim Gannon often speaks about the different attributes players have to the game, and he's often used this term, smelling danger, and being able to,
by the way,
sense it.
Chris, that's disgraceful from Dan Gallagher, picking the ball up to throw it to Ben Jackson for a county throw after he got his feet in a tangle, and then just launching it miles beyond Ben Jackson deliberately to not allow the quick throw. That's pathetic, that. County on the ball anyway.
Yes, poor mentality.
Festus Arthur up from the back. On the left is Jackson, comes inside onto his right. He might have a dig from here. It's Jackson on his right foot, blocked by the defender Dan Gallagher. County have a throw in on this near side. Jackson's in a hurry to take it.
Yeah, County know that they've started this half strongly, and they're looking to build on this momentum. Jordan Keane and Ben Jackson both doing that, and the more they keep it going, the more that they can put Dorking under pressure. And I think that petulant little throw in, I only half saw it, given that there's some pillars and stanchions making it slightly difficult to see around there. I think he was just trying to break up the play, wasn't he? He didn't like how fast County come out of the traps.
Dorking's board, by the way, very welcoming. Had us in the boardroom before kick-off today, and lovely to listen to their plans and ambitions, which are really being dictated by what happens on the pitch. And they say they've got to add extra capacity to this stadium just to stay at the level they're at. So in their minds, they could probably do without another promotion, but Mark White, the owner, manager, founder, director, has taken them to the brink of the promotion places once again. Currently sitting fifth. They were second on New Year's Eve, so it may not be beyond them to have promotion number 12 in only their 20th season of existence. The ball is on their left at the moment. It's a lovely diagonal into the County penalty area, just a little too high for Pryor. Festus Arthur was there on the cover anyway. It's a goal kick to the Hatters, and no ball boys here to retrieve the ball, so Ben Hinchliffe had to jog all the way over to the touchline to get the ball himself.
Well, I think that might just be a little sign that Pryor that time knocked the ball away from Ben Hinchliffe to make him go and retrieve it. And you do get the impression now that Dorking they've done job number one, haven't they? They've got out of the first half without falling behind. Now a replay, it's not the worst result in the world for them. In fact, it's quite a good one. They get to come and play under the floodlights at Edgeley Park. It's another experience, another big thing for such a young club. And are they just going to start trying to make this a bit of a dirty affair, a bit of a, I don't mean it in terms of physical tackling, but just try and kill time where they can? Certainly not to the levels we've seen in recent weeks, but kicking the ball away, throwing the ball away, stopping play whenever you can. Is that going to be a tactic we're going to see in this second half? 5 minutes gone, second half here on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. No goals as yet. We wait for the deadlock to be broken. The Dorking fans making themselves heard away to our right-hand side. You may not hear the County fans too well now. I'm up against a pane of glass here in the main stand right at one end. The County fans the other side of it. But they've travelled in such numbers, and such a lot of County fans in the south of England as well. Easy to forget how many expats there are in this part of the world with County and Stockport roots. The ball into the County penalty area. There's Keane to volley clear up towards Niall Bell. Bell strong this time against Philpott. Shakes him off on this occasion.
But in the end, Pryor tracking back, just clips Bell there. It's a free kick to the Hatters. Jim Gannon having a real go at Niall Bell there, just wanting him to be a little more aggressive perhaps than he is being, but he's got the free kick.
Yeah. At first I thought he'd done all right because he's won the ball despite holding off a challenge from a couple of different players. But when it came down to the physical shove for shove race, he didn't really utilise the strength that we know he's got in him.
So County free kick, halfway line. Cowan takes, right-footed, long diagonal towards Ash Palmer, who leaps for it. It's well dealt with though by Phil Pott. It's recycled into the County penalty area. Scruffy shot from Bell. An easy save for Slav Huck, who immediately fires it back upfield and straight into the arms of Ben Hinchliffe at the other end.
Yeah, keeper to keeper. Festus, he did the sense and danger that time. I think it was Moore who was looking to break through.
Bell this time too aggressive and he's bundled into Dan Gallagher and conceded the foul. No need to do that there. That's that little bit of, we talk about him being a raw striker and that little bit of naivety sometimes, and that was a case in point. Quickly taking free kick. I
had a great chat with Niall Bell after the end of the season last season, end of season do kind of thing, and I was speaking to him about the ups and downs of the season, not that there was too many downs, and he said he just doesn't like being referred to as I'm just going to hold on for a moment while Dorking break.
McManus on the right wing. Tricky feet. Good cross. Dealt with by Keane. Comes out to the left side for Richards to recycle. Headed away by Palmer now. Osborne just needs a good ball forward. Finds Adam Thomas. Thomas, little drop of the shoulder. Shakes off Dan Gallagher's attentions. Holds it up on the halfway line. Checks inside and finds Turnbull. He's got Minihan wide on the right-hand side. County progressing smoothly. Going through the gears into the opposition half. It's a throw-in to the Hatters, though, as Minihan's progress is blocked by the left-sided Richards. Throw in to County.
Yeah, now Bell, he doesn't like being referred to as raw and inexperienced, but he is. He does show that element to his game. He has absolutely terrific potential, and I know he is experienced. He has played a lot of football at different levels and so on and so forth. But sometimes you just see a little decision-making flaw, if you like. Or
I think if I was him, I'd be more offended to be called the finished article, wouldn't you?
Well, he's not the finished article.
Exactly.
I think he's got to realise that, and he's got to realise that if he works on his game as much as I'm sure he is, I don't know what his progress reports are like, but if he continues to work on his game and continues the progression that he has done in the last 18 months, there's going to be so much more to come.
Flick on from Thomas. Bell trying to get on the end of it. Headed away by Dan Gallagher. Edge of the box, it's loose. But it's the home side who get it away. Oh, McManus, he knows that was an opportunity to launch a counter-attack, but his pass out to the left side for McShane was a little too heavy there. James McShane, who's been called up from the bench today, he's a postman, but he couldn't get on the end of that delivery, and it's a throw-in to the Hatters on the far side. Cleared again by Dorking Wanderers into county territory. Festus Arthur has had a relatively quiet afternoon, but for that scare in the opening 10, fires it up towards Bell. Good control from Niall Bell, but the layoff is poor. Briggs picks it off for Dorking. Phil Pott down the line as Pryor comes deep to pick up possession. But the move breaks down, and it's a careless pass that from Luke Moore. It's gone into touch, and Dorking not looking quite as at it in this second half as they did in the early stages of the first.
No, now Bell actually thought they did quite well there with the high press. Now Festus is just showing that little bit of decision making. He just had to get the ball released from under his feet a little quicker there for me. He was closed down well. County still got the throw, and they'll come forward again.
County ball, left side, throw taken by Festus Arthur. Up towards Niall Bell, but it's volleyed away by Moore. Is that a foul by Ash Palmer? The referee thought it was as he used his arm to block off Jason Pryor. Free kick to Dorking, 15 yards inside the county half.
Well, that looks silly because the ball was going the other way. If Ash has committed a foul there, it's a silly one, but I've got to be honest, it looked more like Jason Pryor just ran into Ash Palmer.
Pryor will not stay down. He wants to be on the pitch to try and get on the end of this.
Yeah, they need him to, because if they're going to float this into the box, a big tower in number 9 is the exact presence that you need on the end of it.
So free kick Dorking, pinched a couple of yards there. It's Luke Moore standing over it. The electrician, experienced midfielder who's won the FA Trophy before with Ebbsfleet, won promotion to the league with AFC Wimbledon, prepares to take this free kick. Just hangs it up into the penalty area. At full stretch, sliding in was Pryor. Showed no ill effects of the injury, but he couldn't guide it past Ben Hinchliffe, and it's an easy take for the county keeper. And with 56 minutes gone here on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com, it remains 0-0. At the other end, some defending for Dorking to do. They've done it in a rather industrial fashion, but they've got the ball up towards halfway. It's hooked back again by Keane. They should clear their lines again, though, Dorking on that left side with Sam Beard into the county half, but it's his opposite number, Dan Cowan, who gets there first. Tries to volley it down the line. Just drifts over that white line on the far side in front of the dugouts. It is a throw-in to Dorking Wanderers, and the game at the minute, Chris, just feels a little bit flat.
Yeah, it does, and I think that plays into Dorking's hands quite well. I think they'll be more than happy to see 0-0, maybe even nick a goal.
Here's Briggs, he's got past Jackson, he's got past Keane, he's played it out to Pryor. Pryor's cross couldn't get it past Ash Palmer, who slid in on the corner of the 6-yard box to turn it behind for a corner. Well, just that little injection of pace to the Dorking attack there, and County's defence looked a little static until Ash Palmer got in the way.
This time Luke Moore did turn the burners on, did show his pace. He wasn't up against Ben Jackson that time, he turned inside, and that was where he was able to show what he's all about. And now, all of a sudden, Dorking have got the momentum.
Corner, Dorking, third of the game. They've taken it short this time. It's played back out to the wing. Richards will fire it in from a different angle. It's recycled towards the penalty spot, but Jordan Keane sniffs out the danger. Elliot Osborne was brought down. The referee saw nothing wrong with the challenge, so Minihan has to make the tackle himself. And County finally emerged with the ball. Good skill from Keane. Minihan then just overran it. He got a bit lucky there, Sam Minihan. You can do that sometimes on this pitch. Now the manager, Mark White, has just kicked the ball away from Minihan. In fact, I'd go so far as to say he tackled Sam Minihan, and the referee didn't like that, so he's going over to have a word with the Dorking legend, Mark White.
Yeah, he's got a little big for his boots there, I think, the Dorking manager. He's now trying to have a word with is it a fourth official or Jim Gannon, who's not listening to him.
It's a yellow card for the manager. Mark White has been shown a yellow card here. A yellow for White.
Well, that's an interesting one, but it's certainly one that was warranted. What a silly tackle.
Well, it suggests the referee's going to try and get a grip of any time wasting that does go on. Dorking, I mean, if they can get a 0-0 today, they'll be made up with that and the prospect of a replay under the floodlights in front of 4,000 at Edgeley Park. Festus Arthur, that's a poor header away. He's going to be under pressure immediately now from Pryor. Pryor down the right wing. Jackson's gone out to block his progress. He turns it back to Briggs, who squares it now for Jake Gallagher. That's a terrible ball from Gallagher. I think he took his eye off it just before he went to clip it into the penalty area. He's got his angles horribly wrong, and it drifts out for a goal kick to Stockport County. As we approach the hour mark here, it remains 0-0.
Yeah, and as the game ticks on, John, I think Dorking will have little targets in mind just to get through the next 5 minutes, and to get through another 10 minutes, just to see if they can. How long can they push this for? County haven't really tested the goalkeeper tremendously. They've had a couple of good attempts in the first half that have, they've been on target, but you've not really found yourself screaming what a great save something was, or cannoned off the crossbar or whatever. If anything, they've just lacked that little cutting edge, that final decision making. And Dorking will be looking at this thinking, can we take this? Can we keep a clean sheet? If we can keep a clean sheet for another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, then the worst case scenario is a replay, and they'd love that.
Festus Arthur with a little drop of the shoulder there to shake off McShane. He's got away with it, plays it out to the wing now, and it's kept alive by Niall Bell, who follows that in, puts it into the penalty area, but just too far in front of Adam Thomas. And Dorking bring the ball away now with Moore. They just seem to have run out of ideas a little bit, the Wanderers. They're not looking as potent going forward in this half as they did in the early stages of the first, when they troubled Ben Hinchliffe's goal on a couple of occasions. But they're in possession now on the halfway line. The ball squared for Luke Moore again. Moore, a very experienced campaigner in midfield, plays it out to Briggs on the right wing, but look at that. Terrible cross, isn't it, Chris? It's actually gone behind the spectators, behind the goal, and a real opportunity wasted. They just seem to be running out of ideas a little bit now in this second half, Wanderers.
Is it a sign of fatigue, do you think? That yes, the ideas are lacking, but even when the ideas are there, the execution isn't. Gallagher and then Moore trying to float either a good cross or a diagonal ball, and both times it's just been completely sliced and sent into the middle of nowhere. And you've got to think, they put up a really good first half showing if they have stemmed Stockport County, if you like, if they've stopped them doing whatever it is that they've tried to do. Have they worked themselves into the ground a little bit?
Turnbull, that's a great header, and that's a foul on Osborne. Terrible tackle, wasn't it? In the middle of the park there, sliding in was Jake Gallagher, and is he going to be the next one to be booked?
Well, we'll hear it. Is he already on a booking? Because that was a terrible tackle on Elliot Osborne. We actually heard it up here, and that's not all that happens at it off. Now, the referee is speaking to him. He is getting his book out.
It's going to be a yellow card, isn't it, for Jake Gallagher? He's not been booked yet.
He's not been booked already.
McManus and Richards have, but Jake Gallagher has not been booked so far.
Now, they've just thrown the ball away again, Dorking, there, and they got a little unlucky that it hit one of their own players as he tried to make a point by throwing the ball away in anger. It's probably just saved another one of their players from getting a booking. I think their heads are going, John. 3
of their 5 midfielders now on bookings, as well as the manager. It is a county free kick. Paul Turnbull standing over it. Paul Turnbull, by the way, making his 249th county appearance today. It could be the quarter of a century on Saturday. A cross in from the right to Paul, one though too close to the goalkeeper, who bowls it out to the right side. Philpott to Dan Gallagher. Gallagher back again to Philpott, back again to the goalkeeper. He's got 2 county players closing down on him, and one of them is Adam Thomas, who's picked his pocket. It's Thomas! It's 1-0 to Stockport County. We talked about them playing out from the back, and it's come to cost Dorking the opening goal of the afternoon. They were overconfident in Huck, and when he got the ball back, immediately 2 green shirts bearing down on him. He didn't want the ball. Adam Thomas took it off him, and from the tightest of angles, the former Everton and Stoke man has slotted County in front, and with just over an hour gone, it's Dorking 0, County 1.
It's a clinical finish, and County have stayed switched on there. We were speaking a moment ago about Dorking showing signs of fatigue. When you've got to be mentally and physically switched on to try and do the game moving forward that they are doing, but at the same time playing it out from the back against a more effective team that plays a high press, you've got to be so switched on to do that. They just switched off for a moment. County capitalised. Adam Thomas, cool finish under the goalkeeper. 1-0, thank you very much. Dorking now have got a real uphill task.
Well, I wonder if Jim Gannon told his strikers to do exactly that, because when the ball went back to Slab Huck, he had one to the left, one to the right. It's impossible. There was nowhere for him to play the ball out. And immediately Adam Thomas took it off his toes and fired it into the corner of the net. Good finish, though, as Chris Ridgway rightly says, from a tight angle. He slotted it into the far corner. Beautiful finish from Adam Thomas, his 5th of the season, and Stockport County lead here by 1-0. It could be an uphill task for Dorking now. 64 minutes gone here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. The Hatters lead 1-0, and it's that man Adam Thomas once again.
Yeah, I think the more the game goes on now, I think the more physical Dorking are going to get, because they sensed, I think, that they could get something from this game, and it's hard. It's a bitter pill to swallow when you lose that confidence, and if they are to get anything from it now, they've got to switch up, and I don't know if they have the ability to do that.
It's Dorking pushing forward as they have to now. It is cup football, so they won't be sitting back on their laurels as they have done so far this afternoon. They've got to be more ambitious now going forward, and that could actually count against them. They've got a chance here, though, for McManus to drive it. Spilled by Hinchliffe, but then he manages to recover to make a second save, and it's a save he had to make as well to keep out McShane. But he really should have held on to the first one.
I can't believe Dorking have not just put that in the back of the net. When Ben Hinchliffe didn't keep hold of that first shot, I don't even think he's made the second save, John. I think he's scuffed his lines, the striker. Either way, Ben Hinchliffe did enough, whether he got a touch or not, to keep the ball out of the back of the net. But that is 2 glaring chances in this game now that Dorking really should have put in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was James McShane on the follow-up, and I think he struck his shot against Ben Hinchliffe's shins.
He had the goal at his mercy. Ben Hinchliffe was on the floor.
County very, very lucky to still be in front. Ben Hinchliffe just spilling the shot from distance, and I think he'd be disappointed not to have held on to it, but if you're going to save it, palm it way away from your 6-yard box.
Well, if County can get a second now as they come forward, I think that'll be too much for Dorking. I think it's surely game over.
Jackson's ball in. Bell with the glancing header, lacked a bit of pace. Easy take for goalkeeper Huck, who's still going to play it out from the back. Well, Dorking could have been level within a minute. That's a foul. As Keane goes through the back of McManus. McManus on the ball again immediately. That dangerous right foot. Paul Turnbull's tracking him all the way. Jackson now's gone to help out, forcing McManus wide to the right wing. Very right-footed. He's got to use his left now, though, to play it back into the midfield for Jake Gallagher. Terrible pass from Gallagher, though, into touch for a goal kick. And the Hatters can just take a breather now as they take this goal kick and just start to regroup a little bit. And I think Jim Gannon might be thinking about the substitution.
Yeah. I think McManus there, he let himself down when the ball first came to him because he had the run on Paul Turnbull, and instead of just letting it run across his body, turn around and get the ball onto that right foot, he's taken a touch and it's just slowed the rhythm of the ball down. Paul Turnbull's got back into position. Ben Jackson has fallen behind him. County got into the shape, and when they do that, Dorking don't have any response at all.
Luke Moore out to the right side. It's a good take by Matt Briggs. Briggs to the edge of the County penalty area. Shot blocked by Jordan Keane. Briggs now leaves it for McManus, takes over again. Briggs on the right side now. They're throwing plenty of red and white shirts forward now, and there's more of an urgency about Dorking. They were happy with 0-0, but now they're trailing by 1-0, thanks to Adam Thomas and his quick thinking. It's a very different ball game. Here's Dan Gallagher, charged down by the goal scorer Thomas, puts it into touch for a throw. Working hard, Adam Thomas, playing as a second striker alongside Niall Bell. Here's McManus skipping away from Keane. He's done well, McManus, carrying the ball 30-40 yards into the box for McShane. Super defending. Super defending from Dan Cowan. Shepherds it out. Goal kick County.
That's levels above the division that he plays in. The manner, the composure, the confidence Dan Cowan has just shown there to not get a touch on either the man or the ball, but just shield the ball out of play is fantastic.
Well, Niall Bell is coming off now. I presume Frank Mulhern will be taking his place.
Yeah, it's Frank, isn't it?
It's interesting, isn't it? The Dorking players, by the way, now, instead of kicking the ball away, they're actually getting it for the County set pieces. So what a difference the goal makes.
Yeah, it's always nice to see that change in mindset, especially given the circumstance.
So here's the change for Stockport County. 68 minutes gone, quarter of the game remaining, as Frank Mulhern comes on to replace Niall Bell.
Yeah, I want to see a little bit of magic from Frank Mulhern. We know he's got it in his locker. We don't see it often enough for me, but when you see that fancy footwork, when you see that eye for goal that he's got in him, that we saw from his first game in the Stockport County shirt up until, even just recent weeks, Dover, you think, went 45 yards out or whatever it was. He's got this in his locker, Frank Mulhern. Today, I just want to see a little bit of magic from him.
Here's Gallagher. Dan Gallagher, that is, the centre-half today. They're missing their captain today. Ed Harris, such an important player for them, influential centre-back. Touched on by Moore. This is good football. Nice build-up from Dorking, out to the left wing for Richards to cross. Danger here, Pryor turns it in. It was missed by County centre-halves. Pryor at the far post. Simple task to tuck it into the back of the net. Ben Hinchley completely taken out by the cross from Richards. Brilliant ball in from Richards on the left wing. But County have got to do it all again. Dorking a level, it's 1-1.
Yeah, that's possibly the biggest goal in Dorking's history, isn't it? It's certainly the biggest scalp that they've, they've put a goal against. County just weren't at the races there. The ball came in. They didn't deal with the cross as effectively as they could do. Now there's conversations going on across the pitch. I don't really think it's an inquisition as such. I think it's more a conversation that let's keep going. We were almost there. We were on the path, and now Dorking have this renewed confidence. I don't think the draw, as much as it points that way, it's 1-1 now with 20 minutes to go. I don't think a draw's on the cards here. Dorking are going to come forward. They're going to want to take this now with the momentum. That'll cause openings. We could be on for a really good finish here.
Jim Gannon, I think, is going to make another change shortly. So County just not tight enough at the back. They should have stopped the cross. But even then, once the cross came in, Palmer and Arthur maybe should have been more aware, particularly Festus Arthur, of Pryor at the far post. But Pryor crept in. 6 in 7 now for Dorking's leading goal scorer. And it's a proper poacher's goal, that, isn't it?
And isn't it amazing how momentum can blow fatigue away? All of a sudden, Dorking don't look like the team who are slicing passes, who are making silly runs, who are kicking the ball away. Instead, they look determined and they want to come forward, and they're ready to take the fight now to Stockport County.
Well, Hook's taking a risk again, playing out from the back. He's got away with it this time. And Dorking clear up to halfway. Keane, very strong tackle, but a fair one to win it back for the Hatters. Wide right now, but what a tackle from Beard to regain possession for the home side. And now Moore will play it up to halfway to McShane. McShane holding off the challenge of Palmer, who's been drawn out of position. Palmer's a long way from home here. He drops back into his own half now, but what a moment for Dorking. And Jason Pryor, prolific striker, top scorer last season with 27. He's scored 6 in his last 7 outings. He was previous at Bognor Regis, where he scored 95 in 126 games. That got him the move to League 2 with AFC Wimbledon. Dropped down to play for Dartford, then Haventon Waterlooville, where he scored at the rate of 1 in 2 there as well. He's 30 now, but that's 12 for this season, 27 for last season. Certainly knows where the back of the net is. A proper poacher, proper centre forward, and he's looking to get on the end of this one as well. It is Pryor! It's wide of the target. It was on his left foot, but he'd be disappointed having got across Ash Palmer so easily. He just guides it wide of the upright.
County have got to wake up. Dorking are making a substitution, and County are as well. Both teams all of a sudden have reason to change things up, and for County it's to hang on, because Dorking are coming forward in great numbers. They're moving the ball around confidently. This is not the same Dorking team of 15 minutes ago. This is a team now with confidence and with belief that they can take this tie today.
Yep, Dorking making a change. Looks as though they might be switching to a back 4 here, and a midfield 5 with a lone striker. So they're happy, obviously, with a 1-1 scoreline. Meanwhile, Elliot Osborne's gone off the County. Sam Walker has come on to take his place. Will that be a straight swap, Chris?
No, I don't think it will. I think that's quite interesting, because Paul Turnbull, Jordan Keane and Sam Walker, you rarely see all 3 of them on the park at the same time, because it's such a formidable barrier in the centre of the park. It's almost like Jim Gannon has noticed that there's a leak, if you like, and he's plugging the gap. So what it'll mean for the formation is it's going to be a 3-5-2, I think, because...
You're right, yeah.
Maybe Elliot Osborne wasn't in the game as much as Jim would have liked, but...
Yeah, it was a 3-4-1-2, wasn't it? But it doesn't look as though...
There's no out-and-out number 10 there now.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. But, what a shock for County to see Pryor levelling the game. It's the Hatters pushing forward again. They're appealing for a free kick. It's not given, but it comes out to Walker to strike it. Took a deflection, but Huck holds on to it. Good save by the man in pink.
Yeah, Sam Walker almost scoring with his first touch, but it shows that he's come on with a bit of purpose, Sam Walker. I think he's got a bit of a point to prove as well to the manager. He'll be wanting to play more games than he's found himself doing in recent weeks. He's come on and he's had an immediate impact, which is good to see.
The ball is in the Dorking half with Dan Gallagher bringing it up towards halfway. 15 to play, 1 apiece here in this FA Trophy second round tie. Given away by Dan Gallagher. That was sloppy inside his own half. He's given it to Adam Thomas, but Beard again to the rescue. He's had a very good game, the number 3 for Dorking this afternoon. He's really caught the eye, the young player of the year. He's had a good game for Dorking, that left-sided centre half. It's the home side on the ball again. I think there's some Beard fans in front of us. It's on halfway. With
it's his mum. It's his mother.
Sorry, Mum. I'm pleased I said something nice now. He's been the pick of the players, without a doubt. The ball cleared down the County right. It's going to come straight back through Beard again.
It's a brilliant Beard.
Now the number 6, Dan Gallagher, takes over. A makeshift centre half, and it's told at times today, but he's got away with it. Here he is on the ball again, halfway line. Prods it forward, gets the return, under pressure from Turnbull, fires it upfield. Pryor's glancing header comes out to McManus on the right wing. Jackson's held him at bay for now, but McManus will come again. He's got support from Gallagher behind him. Chooses not to use him, fires it into the box. Palmer's there to clear, up towards Mulhern. Mulhern with a firm header, but only finding the touchline. Throw in to Dorking.
I think Frank Mulhern's looking around to say, where's the support there? You know, he's won the header really well. He's distributed it into space, but there's no Adam Thomas, Ben Jackson. There's no one breaking forward.
That's a foul. Jackson bringing down McManus. I don't like that. He's asking the referee, show him a card. He is going to show a card, but I don't think it needs McManus to referee the game. No. It is going to be a booking, though, for Ben Jackson.
Yeah, Jim Gannon won't like to see that, but I don't know. John County have gone back into the shells a little bit here. All of a sudden, they're up against a team that want to take this, and they've just got to keep the heads, County.
As we often say, goals change games, and that equaliser for Dorking Wanderers has given them a new lease of life in what had looked a fairly flat second half for the Wanderers so far, but that equalising goal has given them real belief now. And it's going to be a free kick to be taken down this right-hand side by Dorking substitute Des Soleil. Right-footed, whips it in at pace. It's headed away by Ash Palmer.
I don't know. At what point does Jim Gannon think close up shop and we'll see you again Tuesday? Because he's put three men across the middle in Paul Turnbull, Jordan Keane and Sam Walker, in addition to Festus Arthur, Dan Cowan and Ash Palmer behind them. It's a very, very strong wall. Of course, then either flank you've got Sam Minahan and Ben Jackson, both wingers who by trade are defenders.
And here come the home side again. Snapshot from McShane, well saved by Ben Hinchliffe. He would have been disappointed if that had gone past him. At a nice height for the county keeper to make the save.
You know, and even the attacking outlet for County is Adam Thomas, who can play in defence. So you could argue, in a way, you've got sort of 9 defensive players there, and I think, okay, they have the capability to transition into attack, but at the same time, if they want to make things busy in their own penalty area and not let Dorking have a sniff, that's the team of players to do it with.
12 to play here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. Very good afternoon as well to our listeners on County Player around the world. It's 1 apiece here, and the free kick's gone straight into the arms of Slav Huck, who immediately bowls it out to this right-hand side. Carried up to halfway by the goal scorer for Dorking. What a big goal that could prove to be for Jason Pryor this afternoon, top scorer. The ball switched to the left. It's Beard again, carrying it into county territory. Little touch back into midfield now for McShane, playing a little deeper now. Soleil's come on. Here he is again. He's found that pocket of space. County sitting deep. It's squared to Beard. Looking at playing it in behind the full-back. He'll cross it, though, from the left. Took a little nick into the penalty area. Festus Arthur seemed a little caught in two minds. He didn't know whether to clear it, head it. And in the end, he did neither. It bounced into his midriff, and he puts it behind for a corner, more by accident than design.
Yeah, Festus, really. I don't think he's enjoying his time out there now. You know, the Dorking Town fans, they're just behind the goal. They're absolutely loving it. They're enjoying what's going on, and it's very unsettling for the defence.
Corner whipped in at pace. It's actually spun across the face of goal and out for a goal kick on the other side. I'll tell you what, mate, when they do the ground up, I hope they replace these floodlights.
Yeah.
Can you see anything over there?
It's not.
Is it just me?
It's not ideal, is it? But we were speaking before, John, about maybe the Dorking players' heads going. All of a sudden, you just question every single. I mean, Festus, Dan Cowan, Ash Palmer, Paul Turnbull, Sam Walker, all trying to give out instructions at the same time at the moment. That can't be constructive.
Ball forward for Thomas and Mulhern, who seem to get in each other's way or not anticipate where that ball was landing. And Dorking able to bring it away. 10 to play here at this terrific Meadowbank Stadium. And it's Dorking 1, Stockport County 1. At the moment, we're heading for a replay in Cheshire on Tuesday. An extra game that Jim Gannon certainly did not want. But still 10 minutes to go in this one. And both sides will probably still feel they can put themselves into the third round.
That's clever play.
Yeah, good skill on the far side again. Beard to Philpott. McManus coming in off the right. Jackson just trying to keep him at bay. No great ambition about the home side now to try and find a winner. And you can understand why the occasion of a replay at Edgeley Park is a tantalising prize in itself. Probably a bigger prize than playing at Wembley in the final, Chris, really.
Without question. I don't think there was any need for the word probably there.
Pushing forward again. Gallagher out to the right for Pryor. That's a great cross. Goodness me, Ben Hinchliffe gathering that one. Festus Arthur, he couldn't do anything. He was facing his own goal. If he touched that, it would have been an OG. He knew that Solo was breathing down his neck. He just had to trust in his goalkeeper, and Ben Hinchliffe gathered it. That's a poor ball forward, straight into the arms of goalkeeper Huck at the other end, who bowls it out quickly to Dan Gallagher. Well, I might be doing them a disservice, Dorking. Maybe they do feel and are still going for another goal.
I don't think we've got anything to lose at the moment. They're playing with such freedom.
Festus Arthur, dear me, his head's gone. It's a terrible clearance. It's into touch for a throw-in. He's had a difficult afternoon, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, you can tell they're playing for time. Dan Gallagher down in front of us has just taken his shin pad off to readjust his sock and then put it back in. I mean, they're in a place now where they take either. They take a draw because they go to Edgeley Park and get a great day out. They take a win because they've taken the biggest scalp that they've ever played against. It's a win-win at the moment. County are not threatening them.
Jackson throw left side, looking for Adam Thomas. Thomas glances it on. Mulhern will chase the defender Philpott, who's also had a good game at the back. Gets across. Mopped up. It'll be a throw in to the Hatters midway inside the Dorking half. Jackson takes down the line to Adam Thomas. Thomas holds it up, gives it back to Jackson. Great cross towards Mulhern. It didn't quite come kindly for him. I think he saw it late and he couldn't apply the finish, but it was a chance.
That's what Ben Jackson was all about before he went back, is finding those crosses into the box, and Frank Mulhern just couldn't position himself in time. But Ben Jackson there, what a ball that is. That's a really dangerous ball. If he can deliver those in the coming weeks, you know, when we're back to league business and talking about places in the playoffs, that's the kind of service strikers need.
Well, the frustration for Jim Gannon is that when the Hatters took the lead, it was Dorking who stepped their game up. And if you look at the stats, 13 attempts from County, but 10 now from the Wanderers, so a much more even game. And it's Dorking, really, since County took the lead, who've been dominating and deserving their equaliser and deserving the shot of a replay, and they might get, as Chris says, a better prize than that, if there is one. Here's Moore to the wing for McManus, taking on Ben Jackson. Jackson's got to keep him at bay, he's got to stop the cross. He's done that for now. Dorking back into midfield for McShane to cross, looking for Pryor, headed away by Cowan. Minihan will bring it away down the right touchline. He's got Thomas ahead of him. Adam Thomas hugging that right touchline now. A long ball then from Minihan for Mulhern to chase, but Philpott gets there first, nods it behind. It'll be a corner to County.
Right, now County have got to build on this because they've got a corner really out of nothing. Dan Cowan's been playing some long balls and they've not been working. Sam Minihan's just tried one, and it wasn't the best long ball in history, but it's forced a corner. And now if County, I mean, Johnny, would it be wrong to say County score from this? They've stolen it because there's 5 minutes left to go, just over, and County find themselves in the attacking third with a real opportunity.
Dorking will not leave two on the halfway line this time. They've brought everyone back with the exception of McShane to defend it. The ball is deep towards Arthur. It's still loose on the edge of the box. County find a way to get it back into the area, but then find a way to clear it for Dorking. Nothing quite going the Hatters' way, and Jackson has to concede the throw-in.
Thought he pulled up there, McManus, but he's not.
Throw-in near side. It'll be the substitute Solé to take. Jez Solé, very experienced striker, signed 3 years ago after 10 years at Woking. He was their top scorer in 2008, 2010, 2011. He's been named their player of the decade as well. Very experienced non-league striker. 31 now. There's a free kick as well now to Dorking inside County territory.
Ash Palmer's given the free kick away. It was him that gave the ball away a moment ago. Granted, you know, he's not really a number 10, and that's where he found himself on the park. But just got to be careful here, County's number 5.
You mentioned McManus pulling up. I think it's a little bit of cramp. He's just trying to stretch out his calf muscles there. It is a free kick, though. Solé, the set-piece specialist, standing over this one. Looking to whip the ball in, and they've thrown everybody forward. County got all the green shirts back to defend this in the penalty area, with the exception of Ben Jackson, who's standing 10 yards from the point of execution. So Solé to take. Plenty of runners to guide it towards. It's headed over the bar, though. Rising at the far post was Pryor again.
These crosses into the box and these passes that are going out wide. 20 minutes ago, they were being sliced all over the place. They were going behind fans, behind, you know, going out of play, doing whatever. Now they're really, really accurate, and it's because if you ever needed a case in point of what confidence can do for you as a football team, this is Exhibit A down in front of us right now.
County were in front in this tie for just 7 minutes. Jason Pryor with possibly the most significant goal in the history of Dorking Wanderers, in the biggest game in the club's history.
They're stealing a good number of yards on these
deliberately to kill time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Gallagher knows he's going to be ordered back, so he watches the referee's hand and says, where do you want me to take it from? Uses up another few seconds, and we're in the final 3 minutes now. One apiece. Dan Gallagher dinks it forward. It's too high this time for Solé. Controlled by Cowan. Will clear right-footed. It's a terrible ball by Cowan.
Yeah.
It's gone straight to Richards. Rather Keane making up for the slip. He plays it down the inside right channel for Adam Thomas to give chase. Like a rabbit there out of the trap to try and get there. As McManus is named the man of the match. I'm sure Beard was in the running. It is a throw-in far side. The referee just sorting out one or two issues. I think with time wasting here, there might have been another card shown there. Difficult to see through the glass to our left side. I think Philpott may have just picked up a booking as well. County throw, hurled in towards Thomas. His back header to Minihan, who scoops it towards the goal, but he couldn't find another green shirt. And again, Huck able to bowl it out to Dan Gallagher. Well, one of the risks is that by the time we get to Tuesday night, assuming it's a replay, Jack Barham might have signed for these, so their firepower will have increased significantly if a deal can be agreed with Barnett and the player's agent. It's Dorking on the ball.
Yeah. And
Philpott again up from the back.
They're playing clever now. They're just playing keep ball. They don't have to go for goal.
It's been fired in by Dan Gallagher, claimed by Ben Hinchliffe. And very few runners, very few targets for Hinchliffe. It's a tired-looking, leggy-looking County side out there now. Adam Thomas is the obvious target. It's gone down the middle towards Minihan. He's comfortably beaten in the air by Philpott. The ball's gone back, though. But this time it's Jake Gallagher who clears up to halfway. That's a foul.
Dan Cowan, I think in the last 20 minutes, I think his head's gone a little bit. His passing's been a rise, decision-making's been poor, and that's a sloppy foul when you're in the final minute of the game to give away on the halfway line. Didn't need to do it. He's had a good first half, Dan Cowan.
We are 30 seconds plus stoppage time away from a replay in this FA Trophy tie. The referee just sorting out some argy-bargy in the centre circle.
Paul Turnbull's trying to say that the Dorking player touched it and therefore the free kick should have been classed as been taken, and he's nicked it away from them. He's not going to get away with it.
We're waiting for the board to show the added time on the far side as Dorking take a free kick from the centre circle virtually. Festus Arthur lets it run over his head, and then it's a back pass, surely, by Keane. Did it come off his thigh? The referee has shaken his head, so 3 added minutes. But again, Arthur caught under the ball. Pryor looking to get on the end of it. But then a slip at the other end by the otherwise impressive Beard has allowed Adam Thomas in behind. Thomas wins the corner. Beard recovered well from the initial slip. It is a corner, though, to County.
I'd like to have seen Adam Thomas had a bit of confidence in his left foot there and just absolutely leather it, but he's not done that. What he has done is won a corner, which is the second prize, if you like, and a uncharacteristic mistake from the impressive defender, but he's really gifted County an opportunity. Ben Hinchliffe with the quick clearance. I actually thought Beard had a good first touch, but his second one let him down, then he slipped when he tried to recover it, and Adam Thomas capitalised. If County can get a goal here, John, they've stolen it.
Corner number 7 for the Hatters. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger this time from the other flank. It's deep. It's been cleared initially, but then terrible ball back in from Walker. He might get another go at it though. From distance he's going to shoot. It's even worse this time. Flies over the bar. A really forgettable effort from County's experienced midfielder.
I think that's County's last chance of the game gone. Dorking now have got the freedom to do what they want. Hold on to it or play it forward. They're still sticking to the principles of playing out the back.
Turnbull wins it back. A crunching tackle then from Sam Walker as well, but Dorking back on the ball almost immediately. Turnbull throwing himself into every challenge in his 249th appearance for the club this afternoon. One apiece and we're in stoppage time.
His 250th is going to come before Saturday, it appears.
Yeah.
Quicker than he would have liked, I dare say.
Dorking on the ball again. They'll celebrate this like a victory. It stays at one apiece. There'll be one or two of them making anxious calls to their employers. Can they get the time off work? Particularly thinking of the postman. James McShane.
Well,
and there goes the whistle. No, the referee has brought play back for a foul, has he? It's a free kick and it's a yellow card for Adam Thomas.
It's for kicking the ball away. And that's a silly one from Adam Thomas. That maybe his argument is he thought the whistle had gone, but it was a free kick conceded. And I tell you what, John, Dorking could win it here and now, you know.
Well, this could be the last action of the game, couldn't it? Adam Thomas's first yellow card of the season.
It's not shooting distance, the free kick, but it's the kind of cross
angle
nobody wants to touch. And how many times have you seen these bouncing?
Well, everyone looking at Pryor again at the far post. Festus Arthur's the man who's got to try and pick him up. Festus Arthur grappling with Pryor. The ball is flat though, the delivery was poor. County get it clear. Beard retrieves it for Dorking. Richards now with a long diagonal into the box. The little back header from Dan Gallagher. Easy for Ben Hinchliffe to field. All he can do is fire it forward. This time it is the final whistle. We've got a replay at Edgeley Park on Tuesday night. The home supporters delighted with that. They've got a trip to Cheshire. And Dorking remain in the draw for the next round. Stockport County will be disappointed though, having taken the lead just after the hour mark when Dorking were guilty of overplaying at the back. It was the goalkeeper who was caught in possession by Adam Thomas, who took it off his toes and slotted it past the advancing Slovakian Slam Hook to give County the lead. But Dorking rallied brilliantly. 2 minutes later they almost levelled when a shot from Niall McManus was spilled by Ben Hinchliffe and James McShane was unable to turn in the rebound. But 5 minutes later the home side were level. County's defence failing to deal with a cross from Tom Richards, and there was Jason Pryor to turn it in at the far post to send these Dorking Wanderers supporters into dreamland and to send them to a replay at Edgeley Park on Tuesday night. It's finished one apiece.
Yeah, Adam Thomas, I've just got to say, John, just very quickly, Adam Thomas in fury has just laced the ball straight into someone's back garden. He's picked up the ball when the whistle went. I think someone was coming over to shake it down. He's furious, and I think it sums up the mood in those County players. Of course they're going over to to thank the fans who've travelled this huge distance, but they're not happy in that camp. I think County believe they should have got the job done today, and there's going to be a little bit of an inquisition, I think, in the dressing room in a few minutes.
Yeah, County having got their noses in front after 62 minutes, you would have hoped that they would have had enough experience, know-how and willpower to be able to hold on to it, but they almost conceded 2 minutes later, and they did concede 7 minutes after taking the lead, and it was a fairly routine goal, wasn't it? But Jason Pryor, he's a poacher.
Well, that's what they do. They play the big ball into the box. They've got the tall, strong fellas, and look at those fans now celebrating big time over there. They're enjoying this evening, and fair play to them. It's going to go long into the night, I think.
Well, County have to face a replay because it's finished all square here this afternoon down in deepest, darkest Surrey. Disappointment then from the Hatters, who led after 62 minutes through Adam Thomas's 5th goal of the season, but ultimately Dorking Wanderers were able to hit back, and they hit back in fine style through leading goal scorer Jason Pryor. His 12th of the season, having scored 27 for the club last season. Probably no surprise to see him on the score sheet this afternoon. But a big job at hand for Stockport County on Tuesday night. A game they probably didn't want. The players will say they'll prefer it to training, but Jim Gannon, I'm sure, would have much rather had a clear week to work with his players. As it is, though, it is a replay. Both teams will be in the draw for the 3rd round on Monday lunchtime, and it's finished all square here at the Meadowbank Stadium. Full time here, it's finished. Dorking Wanderers 1, Stockport County 1.
It all comes down to this.
Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com. Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
Full time here in Dorking. Welcome back to Stockport County Live with me, Chris Ridgway and John Kieran. It's finished a goal apiece, and therefore a replay on Tuesday night awaits Stockport County in the FA Trophy second round. A frustrating second half for the Hatters, who initially took the lead, but almost immediately they were under pressure from the home side, who sensed that they could get something from the game, and indeed they did. They prodded the ball home past Ben Hinchliffe to force the draw, to force the replay on Tuesday night. As John Kieran says, both teams are going to be in the draw on Monday afternoon. Both teams will have something to play for on Tuesday night, and both teams now, John, have got an extra fixture.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't suit either of them, does it? Dorking's ambitions, obviously, well, despite what the board say, I'm sure the manager would like to win promotion if he could, but you know, a trophy run would bring them much needed revenue, and I think the excitement for the players of being able to play at Edgeley Park is adequate for them. And I think what I liked about their performance today was they were not trying. They were trying, but they weren't trying to score outrageously. They weren't throwing bodies forward at 0-0 because 0-0 would have suited them. But as soon as County took the lead, they showed a lot more ambition, and they started to pepper County's goal. In fact, that next 5 or 10 minutes, and that's when they got their goal, they certainly stepped things up, and it just shows that they've got the ability to switch their game around, to change the game plan. They changed tactically, and you know, I think Mark White deserves some credit for that.
I'm not going to lie, as a fan, I'm sitting here a little frustrated that we've got to go again. I still think you know, the value in the trophy is a potential trip to Wembley is definitely something to play for. There is definitely still excitement still to come, but for those who don't believe in the FA Trophy, for those who don't have any confidence in it as a tournament and would rather see County focus on the league, do you think there's going to be pressure from them now? Because Jim Gannon has famously said County, well, not just County, but footballers in general, they tend to struggle on the Saturday after playing on the Tuesday. Potentially on Tuesday, does it go to extra time? If it's a draw, it will go to extra. So potentially it's a very long evening for County on Tuesday. They've got to prepare for that, and then they've got a really tough game in the league, which obviously is more important. No matter how much you like the FA Trophy, it's not more important than the league against Sutton at the weekend. So all of a sudden 4 players have left the club, and the ones that we have are under extra strain and demand. Yeah,
and I think that's the challenge now for the manager. But he'll probably, his focus, I think, would have been obviously all week on new signings, and I think it still will be. I think that, that's what he's keen to try and achieve this week, and I'm sure we'll see some incomings this week. But it's a blow really to have that game on a Tuesday night now, which nobody wanted. But we're still in the competition. That's the important thing. It could have been a lot worse today, because I thought Dorking started the game really well, and I think they finished it really well. They didn't tire. County, I think, struggled a little bit with the pitch. I think you could see that on a few occasions, and this rubber crumb surface doesn't suit every player in the professional ranks, and you saw County struggling with it.
When you look at County's individual performances, I'm very careful not to dig certain players out, and I don't think there's anyone who specifically let County down today. But I thought across the park whereas we saw glimpses from players, and Jordan Keane I thought played well, and Paul Turnbull looked good in the first half, Ben Jackson looked solid, we didn't really see the electric players come to life that we have seen in recent weeks. You know, Elliot Osborne, for all the running that he did, and I'd be willing to put down good money that the time he was on the pitch he probably did more running than anybody else, but we didn't see that buzz from him, that spark. And maybe it is fatigue, maybe it is the number of games, I don't know, but County as a whole didn't have the spark that we've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, and maybe it's collective fatigue over the Christmas period, who knows, but there were 1 or 2 leggy performances, and I think you could see Festus struggling with this pitch. I don't think it's his surface at all. I think you really struggle with that. Dorking used it to their advantage. I've got to say, it's a gamble to say it, but I think we'll win the replay. I think we'll have enough about us when it comes to it. But just hearing, by the way, the attendance 1,604, so it's a new attendance record here. But that won't be much consolation to the County fans as they drift away into the night here, and the Hatters still looking for their first win of 2020.
Yeah, and when you look at it like that, County, they have something to play for on Tuesday night in that. I think, okay, it's not the strongest stat in the world. It won't keep many of them up at night. But at the same time, you've got to, you want more positive sayings going around than you do negative. If you're a player or a coach or a manager here at County at the moment, you just want to kick the year off. 2019 ended phenomenally. 2020, okay, Halifax was okay. Boreham Wood, terrible first half, not a bad second half. Today, just a struggling, competitive game, a tough one. That, yeah, you're right. The pitch didn't suit County, but ultimately, we just got to get a win now.
Yeah, and I think the priority is to get these new signings in, and to I think we'll have a different looking side on Saturday when we face Sutton United, resurgent Sutton United. Of course, what a remarkable run they've been on since the autumn. They started the season dreadfully and were really struggling the wrong end of the table, but it's been an incredible run since Halloween, and you see where they are now. And I think if County turn up and play like they've done today and did against Boreham Wood, I think it could be a bit embarrassing, but we need these fresh faces in. We need to see some recruitment. I'm sure Jim is working on that probably even as we speak. He was probably on it yesterday as well, but let's hope that is the outcome. The budget is there, as we know, and good luck to him this week, because I felt a lot of sympathy for the manager over the last couple of the last 2 or 3 weeks, because it's been difficult for him to manage in the current environment.
The last couple of minutes of the show, John, we've spoken about a potential few players coming in. There's no names we can mention, mainly because the manager's keeping them as close to his chest as he can, but also for obvious reasons. Those names shouldn't really be circulated until the club circulate. It's a done deal. County have lost 4 players, if you like, this week. Not their own players, but 4 players have left the squad. Do you think that's meant the squad has taken a little bit of a hit mentally and physically, because they're having to do more legwork, they're having to cover more ground because they've lost those players, and now those 4 players are needed to not just to kick us on, but to sustain?
Yeah, I think that degree of uncertainty is unhelpful. You want a bit of consistency, and you want a bit of certainty, and you want to know where you're going as a team, and perhaps we haven't got that at the moment, but look, Jim Gannon's sides, as we often say, do come good in the second half of the season or in the final third of the season, as it is now. But I think today, what you've got to do is give credit to Dorking Wanderers, because we know they've been hit by injuries. They've found it difficult to get a back three out today. It was a makeshift back three, but they've coped admirably this afternoon and deserved the draw.
So it's effectively half-time in the tie with Dorking, given that there's a second game to come. So I can ask you the question that I usually ask you 45 minutes ago, John. If you're the gaffer, what are you saying to your players now? Are you trying to give tactical advice? Are you trying to work it down? Or are you letting them rest, letting them recover, and we regroup Monday morning?
Yeah, I think he'll take the foot off the gas a little bit, because he'll appreciate what the lads have done so far. He's got that core group. He's going to be adding to it in the next week or so. So I don't think he's going to be too hard on them. Look, it's a tough place to come. These are absolutely flying in their league. They're top 5 in the National South. And if you were playing a side top 5 in the National North, we'd have been, and coming away from home, you'd have been saying, "Oh, that's a banana skin potentially." But every credit to Dorking. They deserve the credit today. But hopefully we can finish off the tie with that replay on Tuesday.
John Kieran, thank you very much. The temperature is beginning to drop here at Dorking. It's getting very cold, very frosty. If it was grass, I think the grass would be getting crunchy down in front of us on the pitch now. It is a plastic pitch though, and it is a 1-1 draw for Stockport County on the road in the FA Trophy, which means a replay on Tuesday night. It's a game, of course, you can hear live on Stockport County Live here on Imagine Radio, but from us all the way down in Dorking, we'll see you Tuesday. Good night.